don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some honestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable.
Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages. A vacant, modern kingdom for the taking. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
Everything's going our way.
Hey, Mr. Stark.
Hey, hold on. I got sign guy in my face right now. Let me call you back. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll call you later. All right. Sign guy, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I see you
Great.
stood down to your dirty tricks again.
Of course, the dirty.
Sign guy here. I caught up with David Starr. I caught up with the loser of the $10,000. David Starr. Sign guy here. NWA Houston. David Starr. The educator.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sign guy here. I've caught up with David Starr after he got his ass beat down by the Psycho Circus.
Why are you whispering?
Okay, dog? You like your lost car?
Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yo, I got a lot of shit to say, so I'ma do this every day. I'll be writing things until I'm fucking buried in my grave. 6 feet deep under, but my body won't decay. Cause my messages are timeless, so they'll put them on display. Oh yeah, I rap with a certainty, I have a sense of urgency. A message for eternity, for everyone internally. I had some people burning me, but now they fucking learn to see I ain't the one to fuck with. Now they looking nervously, and I don't really care what you think of me respectfully. You can kick rocks if you think you're fucking better, see. I will outwork you, turn you to an enemy. Hurt you so bad that you're gonna need some therapy. I got the motherfucking recipe. I've been cooking up hits, I'ma leave a legacy. You'll be looking small when you're standing right next to me. I'm 5'10", bitch, but I'm 10 feet. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yeah, I'ma do it my way. suppressing all his talents, yeah. He found a way to go and change, become an advocate for taking control of your life. Go out and battle, and you think you have a dream, then act on it. Get after it, get out your head and fucking capture it. You got one life to master it. Don't give up on your future. We all start losers. We're all late bloomers, gotta struggle through the sewer.
What you say? Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yeah, I'ma do it my way.
Okay. I just want to say, everybody, I proved tonight that Mr. Big can go toe to toe with the heavyweights. I'm gonna take this company over. That's what Outcast does. We are Outcasts, and all we do is win. Oh yeah, and Jew.
Okay,
Jew.
I know I saw Mark Henry. Where did he go?
Hey, what's up? Welcome to Town Hall Tuesday. I'm pretty sure this is going to happen. We'll see. It's still 20 minutes away. Good news though, for my ears. I have good news. I'm gonna dox the entire thing. Tell me, got a new microphone. Oh, finally. Oh, I don't have to have my ears like ripped out because he screams into the microphone. I know you might not think, well, maybe you don't mean scream. No, he screams and play the game with him. He screams. He'll be here in a few minutes. What's up, everybody? Hope everybody's having a good Tuesday, right? Hey, look, I got an umbrella. Look for my phone. Remember, it was overheating, right? The sun was cooking my phone. Look what I got. All right, while we wait, I just want to let everybody know that this Saturday, I will be live around 11 o'clock my time. So that's Central Standard Time, 11 o'clock around there. Me and Art will be live, maybe and some other people too, over in West Katy at Typhoon, Texas, out at the corner there, waving American flags. If you are in the area, we're trying to make it non-political. So I'm going to wear this hat. I'm probably going to wear this shirt too, maybe, right? I'm not going to wear any Trump anything because I want to make Democrats, well, make is a bad word to use. I want to help Democrats love America and still hate Trump. Because I'm never going to fix their hatred for Trump. There's nothing that I'm going to say, and vice versa, right? They're never going to convince me or you that Trump is a Nazi, right? They're never going to convince us that he eats babies or some weird shit. Just the same, we're never going to convince them that he's one of, if not the best president this country's ever had. It's never going to happen. So we just need to move on from the Trump stuff and just, if they can say, fuck Trump, but I love America, here's the flag. I think that'll solve maybe a little bit of our problem with them because they're for some reason, now I don't know why, but some reason waving the American flag has become a sign of extreme right-wing It's because that Trump leaned into the America because it was America and he loves it. It's just, I don't know how that became what it is, but that's really, from what I can see, if we can get the liberals to love America and still hate Trump and fly the flag and not associate the flag with Trump, then I think that we're like partly there to maybe some like closure on this whole thing and moving on. Because let me tell you something. I don't know if you watched one of my latest videos. I made like 5-6 videos today, like 3-4 yesterday, 7. I made a lot of videos lately. But one of them I made, Nan Lou, what's up? Freedom Jody, Ed Eagle, let me say hi to everybody. Rudy, thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Could you please smash the like button, share the stream? You know, we're just getting started. We got 20 minutes still. Tommy will be here in a few minutes. I actually helped him with his microphone just a few minutes ago, so he'll be here. Also, I want to let everybody know, I finally banned Pam. She made some really horrible false accusations in a public post about my friend Zach, and you didn't see it because I didn't let it stay for not even 1 second. She said some fucked up shit. Hey, you guys all saw the clip of Shane and the baseball bat right now. Has anybody not seen the baseball bat clip? Do we have to show it just to make sure everybody's seen it? Do you know? The only thing I'm going to say about Pam this whole show is this one little thing right before we start. She had the audacity to say, and I quote, that person was clearly aiming for their phones to knock their phones out of their hand. I bet you she'd feel differently if that bat had been swung at her like that. Anyways, I don't want the false accusations, and she like typed stuff out that I didn't like. I can't have that associated with me or my channel or you. So no more arguing, piss waving, prick fights. We have to take our country back because we don't have, like I was saying, one of my videos, this is perfect segue, right? One of my videos was about the difference between Islam and Sharia law versus the trans pride celebration parade. Did you see what they did at the fountain with all the naked people, and you pan over and there's like kids right there? When exactly did that stop being a crime to pull your pecker out in front of a 5-year-old? When did I miss a meeting or something? Well, I just wanted to mention Maddie because she's a regular in my chat, and I just wanted to brag that I was able to finally get I needed a real reason to ban her because I try to keep the trolls around because I like it, you know? Quiet Piggy, what's up? Bacon of Hope, hello, sir. As far as I'm concerned, it was that thing with the whole bat thing. As far as I'm concerned, attempted murder. Hey, does anybody disagree with the statement that if that person would have connected to Shane or Tommy's temple with that bat, that they would have been dead? Anybody want to argue with that? Because if you watch the video, we will watch it right now. If you watch the video, I mean, that person didn't sort of swing the bat. They swung the fuck out of that bat. Does anybody disagree? Because, good Lord, we're about to watch it. Okay, hold on. We got it. Oh, wait, oh, here it is. Oop. That's a little big, though, isn't it? Okay. Let me see. Oh, I can just do it. You know what? For the purposes of the stream and what we're doing, and nobody else is in here but us, we'll just do it like this. There we go. Is this going to work? Let me put myself over to the side. Oh, let me do the other one so I'm a little bit bigger. Attempted murder. I'm sorry, but I don't know how you could not believe that after watching this. Hold on, I'm getting to it. Just hold on. Be patient with me. I'm old. All right, let me pull this one here. Okay, here we go. Let's just make sure we don't miss any of it. We have to watch it again. Okay, there we go. All right, you ready? Now I'm gonna turn up the volume so you can hear the smack. Okay, maybe we'll watch the smack of it a few times. Right now, look, attempted murder. What would have happened if that bat connected with Shane or Tommy's face? Pull up, pool tall, Poletto, who I don't know who's that. No, I'm just kidding. Nah, whatever. Doesn't matter. This ain't a show about restreaming. I'm not a restreamer. All right, check it out. Now let me explain something to you. You see Shane's arm, right? Okay, look. Oh, I do have mine. I don't want to pull it over, but like, it's like kind of like Donald. Look, go. I'm going to take you on a trip that you may not agree with, but just go with me, okay? It's like Donald Trump turning at the exact moment that the bullet grazed his ear. And how the fuck did he do that? Literally, Shane, we're going to watch it again so you can see what I'm saying. Literally, Shane turned at the exact right time where the bar blocked his arm, shattered arm. Like, it. Okay, sorry, Danny Rebel. What's up, bro? One more time, Danny. Look. Now watch how Shane at the last second turns and the bar just happens to go with him. And Miss Mo, yeah, I don't want to say it like that, but yeah, you're right. But the bar just lines up with his arm perfectly at the point of it. What the fuck? Watch. Okay, now you think about that. Now watch this whole thing again. Watch Shane. All right, that's it. Sorry. You get what I'm trying to say, right? Like, what are the chances of him? What are the chances of getting a baseball bat swung at your arm like that and it makes contact and you're not broken bone, shattered for? Oh, that would change his whole life forever. God, I don't mean to like lean on it heavy, you know, and make a bigger deal about it. I know it's like already happened and stuff, but I just can't stop like thinking about like how lucky he is. And Tommy quick for a big boy, isn't he? Isn't he agile? That surprises me. Maybe it's just because I'm an asshole, but that surprises me that he's so agile. Don't tell him I said that. Shh. So, got a guy here this evening. His name is William Wieting, and I found him very gross. I found him very simply I was checking out other pages, right? And then I saw this guy standing on the side of the road waving an American flag, and he was wearing an AR-15. And I was like, well, who's this? And I clicked, and I saw this right here. I saw this picture. There it is. And I saw this picture. Look at the sign behind him. MAGA cucks with guns. Defends our Constitution. Mustang medic. And look, draped around his neck is the guy. So I don't want to show that too long because we're on YouTube. But the point is when I saw that, and I said, okay, who is this guy? And then I went to his page, and I saw this. Hold on, I got something else to show you. Yeah, Mustang medic. Yeah, he I don't think he does it anymore. Where's the other thing that he had sent me? Oh, is it here? Oh, it is here. And then I saw this. Okay. And I was like, interesting. Hey, please like this. We're just getting going about 11 minutes, you know? Tommy will be here in a minute. I tell all the guests to feel free to join right at the hour. You know. So no worries. We'll see what happens. So I figured, hey, let's reach out. You know, let's reach out. Let's see if we can have him on. Let's see what he's about. I saw a few things earlier. It sounds like this is the kind of guy we want in our government. So we'll see what he's about. Just give it about 10 minutes. I did not get to something the other night in the podcast that I'd like to play, and you're going to love it. And let me just go here. And I wanted to show it, but I just didn't get a chance. So I'll put something nice and wonderful up for you. You heard it, didn't you? Didn't you? You heard it, didn't you? Damn it. I ruined it. So I'll put something up for you to watch while we're waiting, and I'll be right back, and then we'll get going. When Tommy gets in, we'll be back. So hey, please like the stream. And we will get the show going, you know, as soon as everybody gets in here. Thank you so much for being here, supporting the channel, supporting the streams and all this stuff. And I'm trying really hard to post as many videos as humanly possible. So we're going to be doing it. It's going to be great. You're going to love it. It's going to be a good show. But for now, I got something for you to watch. And I know, a little risque. However, Puppet Edgar, you know, he assured me that everything in this video was, I'm going to get rid of myself. Everything in this video was PC. Oh, and there's Tommy. That's okay. Me and Tommy can sit here and watch it. Well, you know what? Tommy can watch it. How about this? Wait, hold on, dude. All right, let's test Tommy's microphone. Hello? Can you hear me, dude? Uh-oh. We had this problem before. He couldn't hear me.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Very loudly.
I know. Welcome to technology, ass. I mean, buddy. I was gonna watch a Puppet Edgar. I don't have it in StreamYards. I have it up on the stream. We can. No. I keep bullshitting on this. I got to go like fill up my cup and get ready for this. So you want to watch Puppet Edgar with the people? I can put it on StreamYards if that helps you watch it better. Do you want me to do that?
Hold on.
All right, I'll do that because. Hold on, guys. Just give me a second. Suggestions. Asking offensive things. Here you go. And then I have to adjust the window. Stand by.
How do you spell Wieting? Weiting.
Wieting.
All right, you can go live on mine.
Smart Poker says May something, Cly. No. I'm sick of Mace. I'm sick of Mace, and I've never even been maced. I mean, in the army, I was gas chambered, but I don't think that's the same. That's not the same.
Did you go live on mine yet?
Yes. Okay. Cool. All right. Okay. All right. We're in business. He's actually responding to me. Yes. Okay. All right. So I want to watch this. It's 13 minutes. I have. Do I have to? I keep trying to play this video, guys, but I don't know if we're gonna get to it because Do I need another podcast just to play shit? I was thinking about having a watch party for some stuff like that. That one thing we talked about on the Sunday podcast with that small-brained American thing, where he started out in the autonomous zone of Portland. I want to get to that. Tommy doesn't even know what that is. You would love this. You would love it.
What is it? Say that again.
A guy named Connor, small-brained American. We'll talk about it later. I'll tell you all about it later.
Sorry, I was
Okay.
doing
Hey guys,
stuff.
welcome to Town Hall Tuesday. We're so happy that you could join us. Our special guest has arrived in the studio, so we're gonna go ahead and pull him in and get started. Give it just a second, guys. Please like the stream, share it. Here we go, guys. Mr. William Wieting, U.S. Senate candidate in Arizona.
What's
Hello.
up, gentlemen?
How you doing,
What
sir?
up, bro?
Can you hear us okay?
I can. Was I late?
No, you're
No.
5 minutes early.
I think we messed up our time because, man, it's like, what time is it? It's like 5
It's-
o'clock Mountain Time right now.
Yeah, 4:56.
It doesn't
Okay.
matter. I'm here. Thank God.
Okay. No, good. We start at 7 Central Time, 5 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah.
And we're live
Yeah.
right now?
Yes, we are live right
Oh,
now.
In the
Okay.
flesh.
All right, you did it. Wait, you did
I
it.
have my whole studio set up going on, but
Nice.
Oh, shit.
I'm going from the couch.
Whatever you're more
We
comfortable
love the
with. Yeah, yeah.
flags. We love the flags.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
we have flags. We all have flags everywhere.
Yeah.
So I know some people may not have heard of you before. I know you've been doing. I watched the video you sent, and working on Mustangs and stuff like that, and your whole candidacy for the Senate. You want to just take a few minutes and
You're working on Mustangs and candidate for the Senate.
right? You want to just go ahead? Can you
I like
introduce yourself just a little bit and kind of give everybody the basic background?
Yes, sir.
My name is William Wieting. I restored Ford Mustangs in California. I got divorced, ended up going through COVID, hanging out with my kids, and then they announced that January 6th was happening. This is the end of 2020. And I was like, oh, I'm going. I just knew I was supposed to go. I was in South Jersey. So I went there. Great, peaceful, love fest, packed by the Ellipse, which is it's right in between the Washington Monument and the White House. There's no front door in the White House. Everything's Pennsylvania side's a front door, but they don't want to insult foreign dignitaries, so there is no real front of the White House. So I wasn't a journalist at the time. I was just going there because I felt like I was supposed to be there. So I went back with my friend to the hotel. I didn't go to the Capitol because if I did, I would have been videoing and I would have been standing by that window saying, do not do this. Don't go in, right? I knew when I found out about it that they shouldn't have done that. And I did see like smoke and everything coming from the Capitol, but for some reason I didn't go over there to see it. I went back to the hotel. I was planning on going back the next day. And in the morning, I saw what actually happened and I was like, holy crap. And then God told me to stay. And at the time I had like $200 in the bank, my 2 teenage girls with my parents in Alloway, New Jersey, out in South Jersey, about an hour and a half away from DC. And he said to stay. And I'm like, stay. All of my friends were very excited that I was in DC because, it was super hot, right after January 6th. I was the only one reporting from the ground in DC on January 7th, 2021. I had friends like loan me money. I got like about $700 to keep me going. I got all kinds of favor at this Holiday Inn that was 5 minutes away from the west side of the Capitol building. So because I was a firefighter EMT, they gave me the military discount because during COVID and everything. So it was like $56, like 5-minute walk from the Capitol. It was pretty amazing. They even gave me parking because they liked me and I tended to talk to everybody. And I stayed. I was just like, all right, God, I'll stay. And I got tested too because my parents were like, you got to come back. You got 2 teenage girls here. I'm divorced. You got 2 teenage girls. I'm like, Mom, God told me to stay. So I stayed. And then basically QAnon went crazy, the Anons. And no offense to Anons. We're all information seekers. I'm not, but straight up, they were saying like, Joe Biden was getting taken out of the White House, all this stuff. And I was running around doing stories and debunking them all the time because I was on the streets of DC. Well, I was wearing a cowboy hat and a barn coat, and I was the only Trump supporter there on January 7th. Everybody left. Everybody acknowledged what he said. When he said, "Go home, everybody," the news kept saying they weren't going home. All this unrest is going on, but everyone went home. And they sent 2 FBI agents to my parents' house on the 9th in the afternoon, asking about me and my background, because they were aware that I came for one night, and then I just started staying. Right, I decided to stay, so they knew I was registered for one night. So they obviously didn't talk to me, but there's cameras everywhere in DC. If something happens in DC, like that guy that was in Doge that got jumped and everything, but the cameras weren't there. Those cameras are shut off. Every square inch of DC is on camera.
Yeah,
Everything.
I believe it.
Yeah, and so on the 9th, I was getting interviewed. I got interviewed. Well, CNN interviewed me on the 20th, but I was getting interviewed by Reuters. I obviously messed it up. And all these huge publications, these international publications, they had all the news reporters walking around. It was like a practice for martial law. They had concrete, the concrete barriers when you're driving down a road that keep you separate from the lane. They had them going perpendicular with the roads, like so tanks couldn't get through. I mean, it was wild. Nobody was on the roads. I was walking down Pennsylvania Avenue. They can fence around the Capitol within 3 hours. They start at 4 in the morning and they're done by 7. So they can fence the whole Capitol in like 3 hours. It's amazing. And so the FBI went to my parents' house. I was concerned they were Antifa imitating FBI because I was walking for the first 2 days, all the Antifa people were taking pictures and everything. And I was carrying my little car flags, my American flag and my Trump flag. And I was walking in the middle of the Antifa protest. So, oh no, I was getting in their shots and they were all getting upset.
Yeah.
So my mother said, yeah, they were asking questions about you. And I was like, well, what do they want? She goes, they want you to call them and they want to know when you're leaving. I'm like, leaving DC? She's like, yeah. All right. I said, tell me the phone number off the business card. And she said, they didn't give me a card. I'm like, didn't give you a card? I'm like, wait a minute. That's when I started thinking, why would they say they want to talk to me but not give my mother a card?
Yeah,
So
that makes sense.
I got really suspicious. So me just being like a total Bambi, like out in the woods, I was just like, okay, I'll get an Uber. So I got an Uber. It was a 4-minute drive to the Hoover Building. Mind you, this is January 9th, okay? 2 days after January 6th. I jump in an Uber. We go to the Hoover Building. It was about 2 minutes away or whatever. And as I'm driving, I'm editing video, and I've got my cowboy hat on, so I'm looking down, I'm editing video in the Uber. And the guy says to me, where do you want to pull up? I said, well, pull up at the front, He's like, are you sure? I said, yeah. So he pulls up, I go like this, I feel the car stop, and I look up, and there's 5 FBI police on one side of the car, all geared up, right? ARs and everything, 5 on the other side, all looking in me and at me in the car. I'm like, holy crap. I was like, it was one of those moments where you wish you had camera and just caught that moment. I don't film FBI agents when I talk to them. I don't film Capitol Police or Uniform Secret Service. Uniform Secret Service are on the outside of the White House. They protect it. And then the Secret Service that aren't uniformed are the suits that are inside, with the limo and everything, the beast. So I said to them, they said, don't get out of the car. Just give us your ID. So I had a barn coat with like 12 pockets. I handed my license. They look at it. They walk away. They come back. They hand me my license. I put it in a pocket, and they said, you can get out now. So I got out of the car, and then they asked me for my license again. I couldn't find it. I'm like, oh, my God. I'm like, panicking. I'm like, I can't find it. He's like, don't worry. We know you have it. Just you'll find it. So they're like, what do you want? I was like, well, I told you guys I was concerned about these 2, whether they were FBI agents or not. And then I told them what they wanted me to do. So a black Suburban pulled up about 60 feet away, and 2 agents came walking up to me and talked to me again, repeating the story. They walk, one stays, they always stay, one stays with you, and then they would go back and do the private radio call. They came back and they said, yeah, that was our guys. Well, I was like, what do they want? They said, they're going to call you. And they're going to call me? And they're like, yeah. I said, okay. Well, lo and behold, I wasn't available when they called me, and they left a voicemail. I got the voicemail, saved it, and I keep it. I'm not putting it out there. I don't want to like put a kind of a target on me, but if I ever have to prove that this story is true, I've got a recording of them saying that it was them, and they are monitoring my channel. And in the beginning, I didn't know. I felt kind of safe because I didn't do anything wrong, and at the time, I didn't know there were going to be political prisoners. Because of the Capitol building, I had no idea people were going to be doing 4 years. Like a grandmother standing next to her shooting video, and she's doing 2 years in prison. And it was crazy. So I I was walking around DC like at like 3 in the morning, not knowing how dangerous it was. And I, with my barn coat, my cowboy hat, I'm 6'4", so I was, nobody really messed with me. But I stood by the Washington Monument at 2 in the morning. There's no, there's no Secret Service. There's nobody that protects the Washington Monument, and there was no homeless people around. It was just me and the Washington Monument at 2 in the morning. And I restored Ford Mustangs, Mustang Medics, and Ford Mustang Search and Rescue. And I said, God, what do you want me to do? And I heard, show them. And that was it. I became a journalist, like, so-called citizen journalist, but a self-professed journalist. And I started filming everything was going on. So when there was, Humvees all around and all these military vehicles, and all this, I'm like, da-da-da-da, videoing it. Well, they're watching me, so they keep coming up. Everybody's coming up to me and asking for my ID. It got to a point where I was like, here. It started off like a 10-minute check. By the time, the 8th check that they, all these different forces, they're like, okay, here you go. Because they already knew who I was. And I was getting ready to leave. I had this wild adventure. I think Reuters, I don't know who the source was, but overnight I gained 10,000 subscribers an hour. And I went up to 175,000 in about 4 hours. And then YouTube shut me down. It went to 175. It was cruising. I was going to go to bed. It was going to be like 1 million. And it went to a spike and it went boom, straight down. So they cut it off. It didn't even taper off. You know what I mean? They shut it down. So I got stuck at 175, not a bad place to be. And I kept filming and I kept interviewing people and doing everything I'm saying to you is all on video. You can track every day. I shot 5-6 videos a day, all the way through. And I was getting ready to leave. Well, I'll tell you one more story. It's pretty funny. They're all freaking out. A bunch of Anon accounts were saying that Joe Biden was being taken out of the White House. You got to go there. You got to go there. My Telegram account went to 30,000 overnight too when it happened with YouTube. It was pretty explosion. And so I jump in an Uber again and I run over to the White House. It's 11 o'clock, right? And the lights are out. I'm like, oh, why are the lights out? So I go up to a Secret Service uniform agent on his bicycle. And I said, why are the lights off at the White House? And he goes, they go out every night at 11 o'clock. People live there. Like, that's what he told me. So I'm like, breaking story. Joe Biden has not been taken out of the White House. Woo! I took some heat from the influencers. They were pretty pissed off that I was busting up their stories. And I was getting ready to go home on the 19th. And there was a chatter on Telegram about noise at the Capitol. And I thought to myself, geez, so many of these stories that aren't true. And I'm like, well, I'm about to go home. I'm a 5-minute walk away from the Capitol. I'll get dressed again and I'll go out. So I went out to the Capitol. A lot of people know me for this. I went out to the Capitol. I've produced 7,500 videos of restoring Ford Mustangs. Now I've got about 3,000 videos of doing politics. And I didn't know how to do a live stream. So my friend's like, here, press this button. So I started doing a live stream for the first time ever, right? Well, all these unmarked buses are going in, school buses painted black with tinted windows. They all had tinted windows. You could never see what was going into the Capitol. Lady Gaga came out of a small Cadillac with two American flags, like the Beast. People were getting out of buses and their kids and they're pulling. It was like they got off a jet, pulling their luggage in and everything. And I received. Now remember, I came in with $200, right? I got 15,000 people at 11 o'clock at night until 2 in the morning live stream. And when it was done, it broke like 3 times, but the 3 live streams, $4,700 came in super chats. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
that happens sometimes.
Yeah, I never happened to me before. My first live stream, I'm like, cha-ching. I was like,
Yeah.
I could, and I felt obligated to stay now because all these people donated to me because I was in DC. So I would have felt like I got the money and ran, you know what I mean? And what was amazing was the first month, the algorithms only knew me as a Ford Mustang restorer.
hmm
So I got 2 million views and I made $14,000 the first month. And I'm assuming I'm going to keep making that money. I'm like, holy crap, it's going to be great, right? And
No,
now
no.
they when they realized who I was, they started shadow banning me. So it went
hmm
from 14 to 8
hmm
to 4. Guess how
hmm
much it is now?
Hundred.
$175 a
Yeah.
month I make off of YouTube with I still have the same amount of follow subscribers. They're trying to cut me off, so I stopped.
They
Do you
changed.
live
They
stream still?
Say again?
Do you live stream still?
No, rarely. I can't live stream on YouTube because if I do that, it's not pre-checked by YouTube, and I've got hate groups that want to take me down. So there's some
Well, as
Telegram
long
group.
if you live stream and then when you close your live stream, you just make it private until it does its pre-checks, then you're good. Because I live stream YouTube and I go deal with Antifa and these crazy trans Tifa and all these people out here on a daily basis. And as long if you think something in the video was violent or it goes against TOS, then just make your video private once you end it, and it'll go through its checks and balances and
hmm
let you know if anything is
hmm
wrong, and it'll say, hey, this is going to be age restricted or demonetized, and then you can choose to edit it or whatever, and it'll tell you what to edit, you know.
They hit me while I'm live. They don't wait. That's why the live streams
Well,
Oh
are very
yeah, yeah. You
aggressive.
can't help that, but you can have it
I'm
automatically.
sure people do
You can
mine.
have it automatically set. It's like every time I go live, when I'm done live, my live goes private immediately, automatically on its own while they're doing the checks. Because I don't want public. That's because that's when you get like the other couple days ago there was a trans male breast that just popped up on one of the streams. And that's I mean, we could lose our channels over that. So I had to delete. I had to delete.
Male breast.
A fake boob on
I don't even
there.
know how to describe it to
You got
you. It
nailed
was
with a fake boob. What the heck's up?
Yeah,
with that?
because
like
we were at Trans Pride.
yeah,
we were
it-
at Trans Pride in Seattle.
it's hard to explain and not sound stupid, but
They were basically running around with no clothes on,
Yeah.
and
in front of kids, like
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
like,
it was
I thought that
really
was a
bad.
crime. Maybe I missed a meeting, but
not in Washington State. Apparently, you can't
Yeah,
do
no.
almost anything
No.
with kids.
No, as
so
long as they're not doing it sexually. But I'm thinking being naked at a family friendly kids event and running around and dancing and flopping your shit around is being sexual with kids around, as far as I'm concerned. You
I don't
know.
know who wouldn't be with. But
Yeah, back in the day, you would catch a sex charge for doing
Yeah,
something like that, and
yeah.
you'd go to prison in California, and it'd be a wrap for you. Indecent exposure.
Yeah. Sorry. Good.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
No, I lived in California for 14 years, but
Yeah.
but that was back in the day, probably before you guys were
Yeah.
born, 95 to 2008. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
no,
when
I
it
lived-
was.
how
I
old
lived
do you
in
think I
California
am?
That time from '88.
You just made such a friend just now. I was born
Hey,
in.
don't be kissing his ass. bro.
You shut
don't
up.
gotta kiss
You-
his ass.
hey, listen here, young man. Listen here, young
You
man.
can tell him like it is.
No, he
bro.
said 1995. Look, I was born. I was born in 78.
I was born in '88.
78, I was in 10th grade. I graduated 82.
So I'm 48.
Yeah.
Damn, you graduated
Time
before I
flies,
was
man.
born, bro.
Yeah, live every day like it's your last, man, no matter what age.
Hey, as far
I have
as
to at this point dealing with Antifa.
as far as your money with the videos, you need to check your price per 1,000 views. Like for example, and it's no doxing of any sort of thing. I make on my long form videos, it's different than short forms. In long form, I make $4.44 per 1,000 views. The more subscribers you get, the lower that number gets.
I hear that, and I know about that, but let me tell you why I don't get that at all. I get 200 views on a video with 157,000 followers. You can check.
Oh, you're
go to my
being
thing.
throttled. Then. Yeah, you're being
No,
absolutely
they're not showing me the
throttled.
views because I'll be at a supermarket and people are like, "Hey, Mustang Medic, right out here in Arizona, right? Little Casa Grande," and I'm like, "Where do you watch me on?" They're like, "YouTube." How could I meet so many YouTube watchers just in this little town called Casa Grande?
Okay, so if you
65,000?
if your video is being embedded into like a Twitter, let's say you're on Twitter and you embed it into a post where they're watching it on X, but they're clicking. It's a YouTube video, but it's embedded, right? So they're watching it on X. They're not going to YouTube. That doesn't count for a view for you.
No, but it's actually you get deboosted on X. You don't want to do outside links on your posts on X.
Mm.
Yeah, I
I
got
hardly
like
ever
30.
post my links on X. I just say, hey, go check out my new video and post my YouTube
It sound
link,
yeah,
not
it
the
does.
video.
It does sound like you're being throttled and shadow banned in some degree. I mean, shadow ban is a broad term. There's a lot of different things that shadow ban can mean.
Well, 200 views with 157,000 followers.
That's not.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and I got what do I got? I got almost 35,000 on X, and I'll get 40 to 50,000 views on a post. I just got 300,000 on a prayer request from my daughter Rachel, who's in
Nice.
Space Force. It's amazing. Yeah.
Oh, that's
I got a
pretty
large
cool.
personal-
X is weird. X is like you never know what's gonna go viral and what's not.
Yeah.
You know.
That's pretty cool.
I've never been able to figure that out.
I haven't heard that too many times where somebody has a family member in Space Force and all that stuff. So I heard like Okinawa, right?
Yep.
That's that. Honestly, I mean, I like space a lot. So how does that work as far as compared to the other branches? Is she on they have a Space Force base, or is she on a different type of base? Or can you say?
Space Force's base. She can't tell me anything either. But I
Right,
can tell you what I
right.
know.
Well, that's what I meant.
She tells me unclassified stuff. Colorado's the main base for Space Force. Okinawa is all the branches. You know, Space Force is very small because it's an offshoot of the Air Force. It's 6 years old. President Trump started it. Oh, Trump, America and America. I yell that when I'm on the bridge with my AR. I'll tell you that story later. But there's a base in Okinawa. There's Vandenberg Air Force Base where there's Falcon rockets going every 2 days, just launching tons and thousands of satellites up there for Starlink. Space Force is completely connected to SpaceX, of course. You know, I'm not very impressed with Blue Origin or NASA. I don't trust NASA at all, but Elon's got it going on. She was trained in Fort Detrick, Maryland, and that is where Project, what's it called? Ultra? What's it called? You know, when they did the experiments, the mental experiments project. You know what I'm talking about?
Everybody.
They're giving LSD to the guys back in the 70s or 60s.
Oh, like.
I can't remember it. Never mind. Oh, come to me.
Ultra.
There was
the
a
chat. Maybe the chat knows. Oh, we have
MK Ultra.
Yeah,
MK Ultra.
Yeah. Got that. Nice work. I used to know.
Yeah, Styles.
Oh, by the way, I have
shout out Hotbox and shit.
I have 254 and Tommy has 309 right now. So that's how many viewers. It's about 550.
Yeah.
Hey, like the stream, guys.
Yes. So appreciate you guys watching. The Okinawa, she was in Okinawa, Vandenberg, Fort Detrick, and she was in 7 weeks of boot camp in Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, I've been there. I live in Houston. I've been to I've been to Lackland when I was in ROTC. We went to the Air Force Base. Cool.
Yeah, my daughter bought me a jacket, a Space Force jacket, right, when I was there.
That's so cool.
And I was wearing my black cowboy hat, my felt cap, and my felt cowboy hat, and I was given a Space Force Delta for families during the graduation. I put it right on the center of my hat, and I'm standing there waiting for my daughter, and I hear, "Sir, yes, sir," and I turn around, and these two airmen are saluting me, and I'm looking at them. I go, "You guys think I'm official, don't you?" I said, "I'm just the father of a guardian." They're like, "Oh," they kind of laughed. They kept going. They all have to go in twos. You know, when they're in their boot camp, they all have to go as twos. They can't go by themselves. It was cool. I loved it. I love the military. I would be a veteran, and I'm not. I would be a veteran if I didn't have a liberal guidance counselor talk me out of it in Turnersville, New Jersey, and Washington Township High School. If I would have met with a recruiter, I'd be a veteran from the Air Force.
We have a lot of veterans in our community. A lot of the people are veterans, you know.
Yeah, I just spoke to a number of veterans. My first speaking engagement for
That's
running
cool.
for Senate.
That's cool.
Yeah, I love veterans, and I always say respect anybody that would run in to protect you with a gun and they don't know you. They deserve
Mm-hmm.
respect, with officers and everything.
So
Yeah, so good.
I was going to ask you, so in all your trials through January 6th and all that, going back there, what made you to make the decision to actually run for something? Because that's a different. You can be a journalist and an activist and go out there and go to counter protest and go on the freeway and wave the American flag with a cowboy hat on.
And
That's
an
one
AR.
thing. Yeah, and an
Right.
AR, right? That's one thing, but running for U.S. Senate, that completely changes your life,
Yeah.
doesn't it? So
Yeah,
Politics are a whole nother game.
well,
Yeah.
I've been in politics for basically 5 years. So I basically, my day is 5:30 in the morning, watching live streams all day. I don't get people's opinions. The only influencers that I watch at night for entertainment is Mark Dice and Liberal Hive Mind. I recommend both of
oh,
those.
Liberal
yeah,
Hive
liberal
Mind is
high man
great.
is awesome. We all watch
He's
him.
good. Yeah, he's
Hmm.
dead on. He's dead on. I've been trying to contact him through X, but we haven't gotten connected via DM. But I got respect for that guy.
It's
God knows
it's
what he looks
it's
like.
it's hard to contact these people that get 1,000 messages a day because they're not following you and
Yeah.
you're not going into their inbox. You're going into their requests.
But you know what's wild?
You know what I mean?
You know Gunther. You know Gunther, and we talk all the time. He's got 1.7 million.
So
Yeah, I connected with him. We sat down next to each other. We were in front row in a Tempe rally
mm,
before the election, and I'm
mm.
sitting there, and Nick Sorter was sitting between us. I didn't recognize him at the time. I didn't know who Nick Sorter was at the time, and Gunther was on the other side, and I didn't recognize him either. Right? They don't use their faces very much. Now Nick does, obviously. Sometimes Gunther does, and we're all sitting there typing on our phones, right? Before President Trump's coming out, right? We're typing. And Gunther looks over at me, and I'm looking at them as I could tell they were on X too. All three of us were on X. And he goes, "Are you Mustang Medic?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "No way, I'm Gunther." I was like, "Get out of here." So we connected. That's how
Small
we met
world,
each other,
right?
not
Nice.
online. You know what I mean? So
Nice.
you make those kind of connections, and you stay in touch. Which I'm always like, dude, how do you even see my DM when you got 1.7 million followers?
Yeah, I have almost 50,000 followers on X, and I don't see so many DMs. It's like, especially if I don't follow you back, it goes to requests, and I have there's no way.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what I do is I wait like a few people I got on the town hall. I waited until they posted something, and I was one of the first comments, and I tag them in it because I know they just posted something. They're holding their phone. This is my 1 second to be one of the first comments, and then if as long as they answer me, now we're starting. That's the
Right.
beginning of it. So
And you get killer impressions too if you get in fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I've learned a lot over the past 2.5 years, and the only reason I'm back is because I was canceled. I'll go right to the cancel part. The rest is an adventure. I can tell you about other details, but I was going to speaking events over at Clay Clark's Reawaken America tour, which was really cool. Is I got to know Roger Stone and I've interviewed Steve Bannon. I get a lot of opportunities. I go in as press credentials through those organizations. I don't have press credentials with any major papers or any major outlets, but I get press credentials when I apply for them, like Turning Point events and that type of thing. And I was I just realized that I interviewed an anti-vaxxer that was telling the truth. He goes by Vaccine Police. Christopher Keys. He'll probably appreciate me mentioning his name. Christopher Keys, Vaccine Police. And he was just over the top, just saying like it is about COVID, right? In October of 21, I did a video about COVID with the truth, which couldn't do it then. That's when you were completely shut down and getting canceled. And I did it on locals. I didn't post it on my YouTube account, which was pretty big. I got 50,000 on TikTok still. And at the time I had 15,000 on Facebook, 15,000 on Instagram. I was getting donations from a number of people. I was getting $1,000 a week. They were all rotating monthly donations, so I can count on $1,000 a week. It was amazing. I got a Mustang. Everything was going great. Well, I'm driving back, and within 2 hours of doing that interview and posting it on locals, small channel, like 5,000 people, locals. I thought it was safe. They sent me 4 emails in a period of a half an hour, and they gave me a lifetime ban on Mustang Medic on PayPal. I lost all that income, $4,000 gone. They closed down my Venmo account. They gave me a permanent lifetime ban on Mustang Medic on Facebook. Can't get that back. You got real Mustang Medic now. And they closed down my 15,000 on Instagram. I just got my name back. I got like 800 people. If you guys would help me out and go to Mustang Medic on Instagram, it's like kind of like, I got like 800 people. I'm totally restarting. So you know how tough it is. When you get to a couple thousand, then you can start building an audience. But before getting to that couple thousand, it's a lot of work. You just got to, and then get bigger and bigger and bigger. Get 100,000, 200,000, and then the growth just obviously takes off because of the reach you have. So don't give up. Keep going. If you've got something to say, doesn't matter if you got 2 followers or you got 10 million. We all have a voice, and it's important. Oh, there you go. Thank you.
Mustang Medic, go follow him. I just followed him. Get on it.
Thank you, man. It's the first for me on an interview.
Hey, my chat, we want to ask you if a serious question.
All right, then I'll get to the Senate thing later. Go ahead.
All right, so they want to know, did you know that trans women are men?
Yeah. That's a question?
It's a question. Did you know? Okay, so did you know that if it has an apple, it also has a banana?
Yes, I'm aware of that.
All right. My wall says it too, so it must be correct.
So it must be true.
It has to be true if it's on a sign on a wall, you know?
Yeah, I'm aware. This is what I always say with the trans thing. I always say XX, XY, case closed.
Yeah. Case
you can't
closed.
change it. Can't change
and there's no such thing as trans children. Like them saying the shirts that say protect trans children. Yeah, we need to protect those children from the people wearing those shirts is how I feel, you know?
Yeah, the grooming.
Because no child is born in the wrong body.
I think we're going to have to protect all the trans pride people from Sharia law.
Well, I think I'm pretty sure we can get flights to Afghanistan. They can find out how it's going over there. Because don't they have queers for Palestine?
There's
too?
chickens for KFC.
I just made a post about it. They were there was this dude went undercover at a Queers for Palestine type thing, right? And he was undercover, and he's like, "Do you support Palestine?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's for Palestine." I reposted it under Chickens for KFC. These people are absolutely ignorant. Like, if they think that if we went to a Muslim country and said, "Hey, do you support this kind of behavior?" and show them what they're doing in America, like the queers and the gays, they would be like, "Hell no, take them to the roof for some parkour," you know? Like, it just doesn't make sense, dude. Like, no. But they hate Israel, where it is okay to be openly gay. You know, they want to wipe out. I mean, and I'm not for like supporting other countries. I'm not for money going out of our country right now until our country is back on track. But I mean, they would have more rights in Israel than they would in an Islamist country.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Israel actually has started and supports the gay movement and the trans movement. It all goes back to Israel. And it makes you, things that make you go,
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we could talk about Israel. I'll just say one statement. They overdid it on Gaza. I don't care if they hate us, but we're not supposed to make them a sandbox. You know, it was too much. I was reporting Gaza was a sandbox a year before anybody did it. And you remember that ship that they sent over for humanitarian aid? Remember that whole thing? It took 2.5 months to get it there, right? The dock they had to set up and everything. They got there. There was a firefight. 3 of our people were hit, right? 3 of our military people were hit. And then 4 days later, a storm happened and the dock went away, right? And it never got rebuilt. Guess what? They built a road through Gaza, the width of a football field, the short part, all the way to Israel before that ship got there. They delivered something big.
Yeah,
they delivered something that couldn't be flown in, man. I'm telling you. I mean, that was so sketchy, huge. Man. That was sketchy. All right, where were we? We got off on Israel.
Did you know? No,
I had asked you how you decided to run for Senate.
Okay. Well, And also, I wanted to tell your viewers, my account name on X is Mustang Medic X. I put an X at the end of it. I thought it was pretty cool. Plus, I couldn't get my Mustang and Medic account exists, but I can't get access to it at the moment. It's a long story. Okay, so I'm doing politics. I know Sheriff Mark Lamb. You know, I met a lot of people. You know, Andy Biggs, Roger. I can do all this name dropping, but you know, all these people that were pretty high up in politics because of my opportunities to talk to them because I was press. So they were interested in talking to me. So I got to meet a lot of people that way. And I've learned enough that I was giving politicians the way I would do things, like with Carrie Lake. I knew she wasn't going to win the Senate seat because she's not popular in Arizona. President Trump knew she was popular nationally and he endorsed her, but I don't believe he knew the lack of popularity she actually had in this state. So Mark was going to be in a primary against her. He was in the primaries against her, Republican primaries. And I was basically just saying, hey man, go after Carrie Lake. You've got to go after hardcore. You got to connect your name to them because the mainstream media was saying it's a two-person race. It was Gallego, who's the Democrat senator now.
I looked him up. I know all about that guy now.
Yeah, Gallego, he's really popular in Maricopa County, and Carrie Lake. And I even went out to a Carrie Lake. I interviewed her about 7 times, and I went out to an event, and I was like, I got in the Q&A, and I was the second person. And I said to her, why don't you debate Mark Lamb? And she's, oh, that's such a lie. You know, and she didn't want to debate him, but she didn't want to give him any airtime. You know what I mean? They don't want to give attention or lock him in. So I knew what she was doing. I said she was going to lose by 6. I think she lost by 5 points to him. And I started thinking to myself, I'm 61. I know a lot about politics. I'm a Christian, hardcore. I was how I call myself a hardcore Christian. I'm a Christian. And so I started feeling like I wanted to make a difference in people's lives. I love the state of Arizona because people here are real. I've lived in DC, California, Philadelphia, and something. Where else did I live? All liberal places, and I've always been the conservative Christian. You know what I mean? But I'm more comfortable with being hated than loved. You know, it's kind of why I enjoy being on the bridge because so many people like give me the finger for holding the American flag. And I don't have any signs. I'm no Trump signs, nothing. Just American flag, an AR, a Glock, a cigar, and mirrored sunglasses. And I just stand.
Oh no, we have it right here. I
You have
don't
the picture?
I can't show a video because of the gun. YouTube is goofy about shit.
I got a YouTube story. I was
No,
carrying a
because
rocket launcher,
it's
it gave me a stroke.
live. It's different when it's live with the gun. But we can show this picture right here. This way, look at him, look at him.
Oh, America.
So
that's
that's tight.
That's a No Kings protest.
nice.
I
So
went there with an AR.
Tommy does flag waves all the time. I've done one. I'm just a little rookie. I have no experience at all. I did one little rinky dink one that I got all positive. I mean, I'm in Texas, but I got all positive vibes. But Tommy's done flag waves where like people show up to counter. Do you have that problem when you do yours?
Well, okay. Well, I'll give you a quick brief story of why I do it. Okay. I went about 75 days before the election against Kamala, IQ of 2. And my church is called, you're going to laugh. I avoided going to it because of the names. I thought it was so corny, but it's called Cowboy Church. So I go to Cowboy Church in Pinell County, and all these, I'm young there at 61. A lot of them are like in their 80s, right? And they had a flag day. So it was Memorial Day. They went out for Memorial Day, and they sat in their chairs, and people were driving by and giving them the finger, right? They were giving basically a bunch of old white people, and they're all giving them the fingers, right? And they're all like ignoring it because they're sipping their things and they're talking to each other, sitting in their chairs, a little fun day. I'm like, oh no. So I went out to the front of the line and I started pointing at them, right? And they didn't give the finger anymore. They're kind of like, I was looking right at their eyes as they're driving up, like kind of like, don't you do it. And they're like, and I was like, they do not want direct confrontation. They have all their power driving by, giving the finger, to a bunch of old white people. And I'm just like, and I do demographics all the time, so I'll mention white and black. I don't really care because my point of view is we're all children of the Most High God. Our outer wrapper doesn't matter. Our character does. So I don't do this skin thing. You know what I mean? I don't even like when people try to separate it, but I do mention colors.
Yep.
But so the next time it was like Labor Day, and I haven't dated in 11 years. It was a horrible divorce. I don't want to talk about. And I was like, I'm just going to go for a walk with my little $25 flagpole flag that I got from Home Depot for that flag day. I'll go for a walk. So I went for a walk, and I got 11 people giving me the finger, all different races, all different kinds, give me the finger, just pissed off, yelling at me. I wasn't even wearing a gun at the time. I didn't have guns yet. And I was like, wow. I was like, this is amazing, the hate I'm getting in Arizona. You think it's red? It's purple. You've got Washington State, Oregon, California, and Canada has invaded Arizona. They're all moving
Shit.
here.
Oh,
Yeah, they're all
shit.
moving here.
Turning
and
it
voting
into where they're coming from, basically.
Yeah,
Like they're
they vote
running
the same.
from California and all these crazy blue states, and they come to a red state and try to change it into the blue state. It's
And then they
fucking-
leave, and they make
Yeah,
it, and they
and-
ruin another place. They won't be going to Minneapolis soon, though. I'll tell you that much. But so I went to the bridge. I figured the wide load truckers would, they go. You just think those wide load guys are patriots. You know what I mean? So I did. I got truck horns beeping at me. I was standing in the middle of the bridge. That was before I knew they were running over ICE agents. So I really didn't think I was going to get run over. They had the opportunity. It was only a 5-foot slab, and it's built so you can't kill yourself. You know what I mean? You can't grab onto it. So I'd be in trouble trying to get out of the way of a car, and I had no gun at the time. So I was coming back, bummed out, just like, wow. And I went into a Walmart, and this Native American guy came up to me. I had it rolled up, and he said, I want to thank you for honoring our flag, right? He's probably about 50, 60 years old. And I said, thank you. And I told him about the fingers, and he put his hand to his throat, and tears started to come down his eyes because he said, you're choking me up. And I said, I know. And as I walked away, God said, you're going to do it every day until election day. And at the time, I lived 2.5 miles away. I had no car, right? Completely wiped out. When I got canceled, lost everything. Depressed, dark for 2.5 years, didn't post anything. I was completely dark. And I was just like, I was just like, all right, God, I'll do it. And I didn't realize it was 2.5 miles. And I did it from 6 in the morning. I'd walk there to the bridge. And slowly but surely, I got the honor guard sling. I got the belt. I got the gun. I dialed everything in. And I did it for 65 days straight, like a full-time job, standing on the bridge with my, I got an oak 7-foot, you guys saw that, I think, oak 7-foot pole, gold eagle, gold tassels. By the way, they represent the military. They honor the military. That's why there's gold tassels on the flag. I got a quality 3x5 flag, and I started just staring people down. I do the Trump dance, do the Trump dance. When I'm on the bridge, I make direct eye contact with everybody. I look straight at them, waiting, and so because I'm waiting for, if they do that, I give that. They're like this, I'm like this. I got all these different hand signals and everything. And when I really want to trigger, they all get stuck at the stoplight, right? It's funny. Sometimes they try to stay 10 feet away from the end of the stoplight to stay further away from me. I go like this. I'm like, come here. It's so funny. I'm sure there's people in Casa Grande watching this going, oh, is that what he's thinking?
You can tell immediately when you make eye contact with somebody when you're doing that kind of stuff, whether they're going to be support you or whether they're going to be like, fuck you, and you can pretty much tell immediately, especially after doing it for so long. So I know exactly what you're saying. Like it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, well, it's pretty cool too. In Casa Grande, it's going to sound egotistical, but everybody knows me in this town because I'm on Facebook, CG Chat, and all this stuff. So everybody talks about it. CG Chat, she's a blue hair admin, so she won't let me post on it, but she can't get rid of me because everybody else is posting me by videoing, and they already can post. So I basically made a pretty big presence in like Arizona City and Casa Grande, and I just I go out, I did it till election day, right? And then I went an extra day. I went after election day, right? I was like, I'm gonna go after the election. So I was doing the Trump dance and celebrating on the bridge.
Sounds like you would be prime for a Trump endorsement. Is that?
Of course, I want it.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, obviously do, but I mean, you're the right type of person that he would look to, you know, be in a position of power. Have you been in front of Trump?
Well, I've got only rally events
Mhm.
because I'm able, because of the media, I'm able to get in the front row center. And I had some funny ones that he did just from the the up there behind the podium. One time he looked at me and goes, "What a good-looking guy!" He always says that to people, right?
Oh,
He's
you were
wearing
one
a
of them.
black-
You're one of them. Hey,
I was wearing a black,
hey,
yeah, I was wearing
hey.
a black shirt, a black company.
Nice,
What a
nice.
good-looking guy, because he was about, I want to say he was like 25 feet away from me, 20 feet. He was close, 20 feet away. And then one really funny thing is Mark Lamb, right? I
Mm.
told him, I said, Mark was going to be at the rally. I said, Mark, can we ride together? Right at the time I didn't have a car. He's, oh, I'm pretty close, so I'll see you there, right? Well, Mark comes out on the stage and he looks right at me. He goes like this. He introduced everybody, so he didn't tell me he was going to be on stage. Well, long story short, Kerry Lake talked, everybody that was running, you know, and in the general. And President Trump comes out, and he comes out and points right at me. He goes, "I want to thank Mark Lamb for what he's doing for Arizona." And Mark was sitting 15 seats down from me to the left, and everybody thinks I'm Mark Lamb because I look. If you guys look up Mark Lamb, Sheriff Mark Lamb, you'll see we look very much alike.
Mm.
And I even texted him. I said, "Mark, even President Trump thinks I'm you." One time, somebody came up to me and they go, "Oh, Mark, you're losing weight, right?" And I'm like, I looked at him, I'm like, "I'm not Mark Lamb." And they're like, "What?" So I texted Mark and I said, "Mark, they think you're losing weight." He'd send me back a laughing
You
emoji.
got to post a picture of you and him together and say, "Look, guys, it's not
Oh,
me.
there's a
I
video.
swear to." Oh, okay. Oh, there's a video.
There's
Okay.
an interview.
Okay.
Look up
Cool.
Mark
Cool.
Lamb,
Okay.
Mark Lamb
Cool.
interview, Mustang Medic, and you'll see it. Yeah.
Okay.
Mark
Cool.
Lamb interview. But yeah, you'll see it. I interviewed him. I interviewed Frank Slope, Fridays with Frank. All the people. Whenever I get into a local town, I just
Hmm.
I'm an interviewer.
Well, if you want us
So
to, we have been doing like collaborations after the VOD is posted. We can add you as a collaborator, and so you'll be a part of this VOD stream, and you'll be able to see the analytics, and people will be able to find you that way through
Okay.
us. So we can boost you a little bit. I mean,
I appreciate
we don't
that.
have million subscribed
No.
channels, but I have.
Like I
I mean,
said,
I have
it's not about the numbers. You know what I mean? It's about the
yeah.
message. You know what I mean? I really
Right.
mean
Right.
that.
Right.
Yeah. So
So
I still haven't answered your senator question.
yeah. We'll get to
But
it.
yeah, the flag thing. So the flag thing, in short, I started wearing a Glock 3rd Gen 17.
Mhm.
It's kind of a standard police issue. Everybody thinks I'm a cop anyway, but I didn't do it on purpose. And then I moved to a 4506 Smith and Wesson because I wanted a big silver gun. You know what I mean? So on the bridge, I was wearing my gun. And then the the snowbirds started coming in. Snowbirds, for those of you that don't know, they're people that have good money. They got a house somewhere in Canada, and they come out here when the weather's perfect in the winter, and then they bail. It's like 110 degrees now out here. They bail during the summer. They're snowbirds. They're typically
Hmm.
Canada. They're all outside of Arizona, Canada, Oregon, California, Canada, uh, Wisconsin. I love Wisconsin people for some reason. And they called the police on me, right? Because I'm standing out. They were like shocked. After the summer, most people got used to me. They saw me out there with an AR and a flag, so they called the police. So the Casa Grande police pulls up on the bridge, takes one of the lanes, there's 2 lanes each way. And he goes, "I knew it was you." And I was like, "Yeah." Because every time a police officer goes by, state trooper, lots of border patrol out here. There's a border patrol base real close to me. I'm always
Hmm.
like, you know what I mean? I pound my heart and just show them I love them. It's like, love you, appreciate you, and they appreciate me. And, they're probably people are pissed. They want them to stop me from walking in on the bridge with an AR. But he pulled up and he said, and he goes, "Oh, they got a problem with your rifle." And I'm looking at him, right? And I haven't had to pull the Second Amendment right thing on anybody.
Hmm.
So I'm looking at him, waiting for his response. And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well," he goes, "You're not brandishing it, are you?" I said, "No, I'm not brandishing." Because they were saying I was brandishing because I'm wearing it. They think I'm brandishing it. And brandishing is pointing at
Yeah.
something.
All right.
Yeah.
Some people might not know that, so I'm saying it for your audience. But I was like, "No." And he goes, "Enjoy your Second Amendment right." And we gave each other knuckles. We're like, we both busted out laughing, right? I was like, "This is cool," right? I'm like, "Wow." So he leaves, right? They had to file a report. When 911 knows who I am, of course, because everybody calls on me. And now that they've done the report, they don't have to send a car out. Well, a week later, they send a state trooper out because it's different force, right? So the state trooper comes out, and he, kind of looked like me, same age, the round hat, little tassels, the state troopers. And we're talking. I told him the story like I just told you about the Casa Grande police officer. And he goes, well, you know what I'm going to say? And he pauses, right? He waits like 2 or 3 seconds. And I'm like, I'm waiting for him to see what he's going to say. He goes, enjoy your Second Amendment right. Boom. We gave each other knuckles and laughed. So he left. And then ultimately, it was some guy, a police officer pulled over, just wanted to say hi to me, gave me his card and stuff, which was cool, his cell phone number and everything. And I said to him, hey, man, I'm thinking about wearing my AR. It's a Diamondback, by the way, 5.56. I go, I'm thinking about wearing my AR. What do you think? And he goes, dude, it's your Second Amendment right. Do it. I was like, oh, I got approval by the police. It gave me the courage to do it, right? I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do it. So I strapped on the AR, right? And I rode an e-bike. I got a truck right now, but I rode an e-bike at the time. I still ride the e-bike sometimes, and I carry the flag, the 7-foot pole on the side of me, and I set up my e-bike so the front brakes are where the throttle is, so I can ride it with one hand. And I carry the flag on the other side. It's kind of like, like the cavalry. So my horse is just a little e-bike, but I carry the flag like you would on a horse. And I've been rolling around doing that, and I just go out when I'm in the mood. I just feel like God leads me to do it. I'm gonna tell you something that's pretty wild. Some people that have faith are gonna take solace in this. Others are gonna think I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But when I'm on the bridge and I ask for a breeze, I get it within 2 seconds. Every time. I've been there more than 160 times on that bridge. Dead still. No wind. And I'll say, can I have a breeze? And I get it. I expect a breeze now. So when I'm not joking. One time I was going out, it was really sunny, just baking down. I didn't feel like being in the sun. And I said, God, can you give me some clouds so I'm in shade up there? Well, I get to the bridge, the sky is clear, but I'm not getting beaten by the sun. I'm like, look, what's going on? I look down, and like miles away, there's one little storm covering the sun. I'm like, you go, God. And I took a picture of it, gave me a storm. I'm like, wow. So my faith grew and grew and grew. So as I was coming back from Fort Detrick, picking up my daughter's car because she was flying out to Okinawa, and I'm driving back, and I'm thinking to myself about running. I've been, for 3 or 4 months, I was pondering running for U.S. Senate. Yeah, I'm going right for the big time. You know what I mean? I could do congressman for a district and that kind of thing. But I'm 61, so I'm just going to go for it and see what God does. So I'm driving back. I'm thinking of all the limitations of my life that they're going to dig up on me and they're going to accuse me of and they're going to say and lie and all this stuff. And I realized I was limiting God by my own thoughts, and I'm not trusting Him. So I was like, I'm going to go for it, and I'm going to see what God does. As long as I'm honest, saying it like it is, and it's not easy to not pander as a politician because you need the votes, right? You want people to like you. But my point of view is I'm just going to be who I am. I'm going to say it like it is. I'm going to call a spade a spade. It's just I'm not going to worry about what people think. Be me, honest, with character, and I'm not doing it for money, and most people are not going to believe that. You get paid 174, by the way. I found out only a couple of weeks ago for the Senate. And what's amazing, you get oh, I just dropped my you get 174 for life once you become a senator. So you could do one term, you could do 1 year, and you go 174 for the rest of your life. That's how corrupt they are.
Wait,
That's how
what?
$174,000 a year.
174,000 a year, and you get it for life if you get a seat. AI it. You can find out. It's true.
What?
That's what I did.
No, I
Yeah.
believe you. I just think it's fucking ridiculous.
Oh, and well,
Jesus.
Well, no, what's amazing to me, what I thought about, not even the 174, is the fact that you can get it for life and they stay until they die. They're just a lust for power and whatever the hell else they're getting out of it. I mean, Nancy Pelosi's, what's she worth? 30 million, maybe more. I think she's worth 30 million, and she made 275 as the Speaker of the House. She's probably back to the 174 now.
That's way too much money, bro.
But then there's that insider trading button that she pushes, right?
Yeah, and it's been shunned upon. That's okay. These are the things I'm standing on. 2 terms. Now, granted, I'm going to be old anyway, but I think we should all be They should all be restricted to 2 terms. I'm not taking any APAC money, so there's no questions of my loyalties, right? Um, I'm representing Arizona, and then the national politics I'm going to be involved in, but I want to. They don't represent constituents like AOC. She doesn't represent New York. She screwed over New York by killing an Amazon deal and giving up like $150,000 jobs because she wanted to do some kind of crazy tax thing on them or something. You know, they don't care. All they care about is getting the play and doing the national politics. By the way, she's getting groomed to be president. Mark my words, they're going to run her for president. Has anybody noticed
Oh
they have
yeah,
not seen AOC anywhere? Has anybody
we've
noticed she hasn't
thought
been making
that
headlines?
too. We've
They're
said that
prepping her.
before too.
Yeah, I thought.
AOC, so AOC and Kamala Harris, a drunk and a bartender.
Camilla's not going to run for. Camilla's going to go for president. She's not going to go for VP.
Well, I'm
I think
saying
it's going to be.
Kamala
I think
and
it's gonna,
AOC were kind of like the supposed ticket that we've been told by
which
a
one?
few. Kamala and AOC.
I think it's AOC and Crockett.
Oh God, that's worse.
Hell no.
Oh, that's way worse.
I did a poster. AOC and Crockett, we're the right color. Vote for us. I don't hold
Wow.
back. Yeah. So
that would be. I mean, I wish they would because we would win for sure, no matter who we.
Good Lord, me and Tommy could run then.
If we don't get the Save America Act, they could take it. If we don't get the Save America Act, they could take it.
They could steal it. You mean, right?
Yes, they can say they're going to place them in like they did Biden. It's terrifying. The Save America Act. I'll be confident about the election if we get it. If we don't get the Save America Act, I'm concerned, but we'll see.
Yeah.
You don't know. You know what I mean? I call them the blind sheep, the people that don't follow politics very closely and they just vote on their party. Oh, I'm going to vote for a Democrat. I've always been a Democrat. They don't get it. So that's a lot of votes. I mean, I don't believe the vote count that Camilla got, but still there are millions that voted for somebody with an IQ of 2.
Yeah.
Claiming to be African American.
Trump derangement syndrome. Anybody but Trump is what they thought. Anybody but Trump, even the worst decision.
She likes school buses because that's what they do. And, you know, she's
she
got that
raised over $20 million and still ended up in debt at the end of her campaign. Like, that's insane. How is she going to take care of our country if she can't even take care of her fucking campaign funds?
She's old news, thank God. What were you saying about the school buses?
All right, she did that whole speech about school buses. She's like, I like school buses because they're yellow and they do what school buses do. And it's like, are you brain dead? What's wrong with you?
I mean, the fact that 80% of black women voted for her only shows you how much racism is in the black community. That they would vote for somebody that stupid because of the way they look. You know what I mean?
Wasn't she raised in the Indian culture though? She wasn't
Indian,
even.
Her mother's Indian and her father's Jamaican. So that's not black. That's not African American.
But she was like her pictures from her childhood. She's in Indian garb with Indian relatives and doing, you know. I never seen anything as far as like, you know, the other culture. So she was raised as an Indian, and all of a sudden now you're black. Congratulations. I mean, I guess I don't know how that works.
Thank you. Come again.
No comment. My people instructed me not to comment on that statement. But yeah. So, I mean, everything. Okay, I don't know if I finished my. So I decided that I'm going to trust God. I'm grassroots. I'm only the roots right now because I only announced about 8 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I just got the domain name voteforwilliam.com, which I love because it's so simple. Because people can't spell my last name. It's Wieting. They think it's Whiting. They put the E in the I before. So I wanted to get a domain name that was forward to it's Wieting for AZ.com.
And you're not Will Wheaton.
Wieting, yeah. I mean, it looks like Whiting because it's IE. Everything's Whiting. I've always said that all my life. So I really don't want my last name to be a big part of it because there's so much confusion around it. I'm a marketing person. I did marketing for 32 years of my life. So I've always sold products and stuff like that. This is the first time I've sold a product that actually is what it is, meaning me. You know what I mean? You've heard everybody say, I'm going to be honest and all this stuff. But I'm going to prove to everybody that I'm actually doing it for people. I'm not doing it for myself. I mean, what do I got? I got another good 15 years of my life. All you leave when you die is your legacy and the people you're in relationship with. You know what I mean? You can't take anything else with you. So I do believe I am following a calling, not only as a journalist was what I was doing because I've always reported the truth. If you look at my, literally 10,000 videos on Mustang Medic, all this stuff I'm saying to your audience, you can sit there and search it on YouTube. Everything like what I'm saying, reference it with Mustang Medic, and you'll see what I'm talking about that actually happened because I video everything. So there's not going to be any hidden stuff about me. You know what I mean? I can't say that that didn't happen because it's all online. So I've got credibility just by my own life experience by what I'm saying to you now can be backed up by video. It's not just me saying, "Oh, yeah, this is what's happening," but there's actual documentation on it. They're going to find stuff on me. I'm prepared for it. Mark Kelly, he's a traitor to our country. He told our active troops to question our commander in chief. So he can sit there and say, "Oh, I'm a veteran. You're not. I'm Navy. And I'm an astronaut." I'm like, "Okay, you're an astronaut. That doesn't make you a good politician." And Navy. I'm not. It's like, okay, you got call it credentials, but veterans know when they're being pandered to by another veteran. You know what I mean? I've got total respect for veterans. I know many of them from many different conflicts, and salt of the earth. You know what I mean? Salt of the earth. I really. I've only got two regrets: is not going into the military when I was 17, chasing money, doing marketing, selling other people's products. And I'd say marrying my wife, but I'd go back and do it again in a time machine because my three kids are so special to me. My
Yeah.
son's 22, my daughter Sarah is a cosmetologist in California, and then Rachel, who's 18 or 19, about to be 20. They're both in September is both their birthdays. They're Irish twins, meaning that they were born within a year apart. And that's what's important to me. So I'm putting myself in service. If God closes the door while I'm being honest and telling everybody the truth and not pandering and doing this is what it is, right? Then if he closes the door, I got peace because I did it right. If I sit there and try to deceive you or say something like this and try to manipulate it for my own good, and God closes the door, I'm going to feel convicted because I did it to myself. But if I go straight out and just say it like it is and do what I'm doing, and God closes the door, then I'll know that I'm supposed to go back to DC as a journalist. Either way, I'm going back to DC. I've got this attraction to that demonic district for some reason.
Mm.
It's pretty demonic.
Yeah, we have a
It's
couple
really,
of friends that go out there and do the IRL stuff.
you can feel the spirit of lust in
Mhm.
there. You can feel it. You can feel the darkness about it. Plus, there's if
What,
you look at the whole, you can go into the whole layout of DC and all that stuff, and the Washington Monument, and all that stuff.
what,
But
what,
good.
I was going to ask you about Arizona. What do you think Arizona's role? Because it's a bordering state, right?
Yeah, I'm close to the border.
Right. What do you think Arizona's role overall is? Like, if you let's say you get to the U.S. Senate, what do you think your first kind of area
What's
of
the highest priority
the
for
highest
Arizona?
priority?
Well, believe it or not, a high priority for Arizonians is water because you've got to get it from the Colorado River, and they've been getting cut off, so farming is being hurt. There's actually a lot of farming out here. Um, it's everybody's about expenses. You know what I mean? The high price. It's across the board. The borders basically closed down. Although I've got some intel that there are some getting through. President Trump is saying there's zero. But I know some people in certain. How do I say this? I know people in all kinds of different situations. Like I know people that were involved in cartels, and then basically I'm getting information about it. I don't know where it's happening and stuff like that, but there is still trafficking going on. It hasn't been totally stopped in Arizona, so those holes needs to be plugged. Um, ICE needs to do a sweep. Half of Arizona would be gone if the illegals were taken out of here.
Is it a
Uh,
sanctuary state?
no,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
no, California sanctuary state, so they bleed over. But they've got policies with Katie Hobbs, who's the governor, which
Mm-hmm.
if a sheriff pulls over somebody, they can't, if they don't have the papers, they can't take them in. Kind of crap, that they do. She's a Democrat. We got two Democrat senators. That's why I tell everybody the state is purple. For some of you that don't know this, blue means Democrat, blue state. Red means I always keep it simple. Red state is Republican. A purple state is the combination of blue and red together, meaning it could go either way. And it was 50-50 with Kerry Lake. She lost by 5 points. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
that's a lot of liberals in this state.
You wouldn't think that either, considering it's
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
no,
Sorry.
no. Go ahead. That was it.
So you're saying that if the cops pull over illegals, they're not allowed to call ICE and have them deported?
Well, I don't know
That's
what the new
crazy.
policies are now with President Trump, but I know those were the old policies.
That's
I'm
crazy.
not
That's the
clear on what they
optimal
mean.
place to do it.
Yeah, that's basically
Yeah.
like being a sanctuary city. If you can't arrest the illegals and deport
That's like being
them,
able to
then-
go into the jails to do it. That's the you don't
That's
want
like
to do it out in the street.
Oregon doesn't even Oregon will arrest illegals for crimes, let them go to jail, and then release them instead of calling ICE. And I think at the very least, every state, if you arrest an illegal and you're taking them to jail, they should be deported instead of being wasted more tax dollars sitting in jail. Just deport them and get them out. You know.
I agreed. Yeah, it's common sense, right? It's
Yeah.
really it's a common sense ticket, because if you look at okay, so yeah, Mark Kelly votes party line, so he's going to be easy to take shots at. He stayed seated when President Trump said, "Do you prioritize American citizens over illegals?" He stayed in his seat. I was like, "Score!"
I would lean into that clip so much. I'd be
trust
making
me.
shorts about it. I'd be putting it to music and making him dance while he's. I'd do everything. I would lean into that.
Oh, trust me, it's coming. But right now, what I'm building, because I'm still I'm early into the run, because I can't do a petition. I got to do a petition for approximately 7,500 people have to sign my petition or digitally, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to get it, because this town's 65,000 people. Half of them hate me, so it's a good number that like me. So I figure I'll get the 7,500 and it will get me in the Republican primaries. But it's Democrats, just when they fight, they just act ridiculous, and they just keep saying all these, giant things. But the Republicans can be really dangerous, because it's like they go after you personally. It's like, how do I explain it? If I get through the primaries and I get to Mark Kelly, I'm going to feel like I've got a lot better chance. I got to get through the primary. I don't know who the primary persons yet. I know Mark is running for Congress in the 5th district, and that's Andy Biggs' district that he gave up to run for governor. So Andy Biggs has left his 5th district to run for governor. So Mark is running for that. But I'm just going to say it like it is. And I think that it's going to be so refreshing to people that I'm not attached to what they feel about me, that I've got a chance. If I try to sit there and say stuff, everybody's going to read it. You can read a fake person now. It's just gotten so obvious, don't you think?
Yeah.
Can't you tell when you're talking to somebody, it's just fake? It's kind of like Kerry Lake is not just not real, and you could sense it's like, oh, like me. It's like,
I'll tell you this, like the real like red hat wearing MAGA flag waving American patriots. There's one subject that a few people, like in Portland, where they had David Medina running, and he was a little soft on the immigration. I think that anybody running for a Republican ticket, they need to lean into mass deportations, because that's what we need. And anything else is like, just amnesty. That whole thing is talk about that a little bit, and what your opinion about that whole thing is.
Let me give you numbers. This is going to blow your mind. Okay. When President Trump left office and Biden got in, there were 41 million illegals in our country. Right. We have approximately 340 million American citizens in our country. We have 340 million people in our country. 41 were legal when President Biden got in. Okay. I went right when I was, of course, there because, I went there January 9th and I stayed. I went immediately to McAllen, Texas, within 5 days of Joe Biden getting in, because they were flooding in immediately, because they were just so excited to have Joe Biden. And it was just train loads. You saw all of them coming through. I went right to McAllen, Texas, which is the very tip of Texas. You know this, Texas person. Right, very tip. So you're basically surrounded by Mexico, because you're at the little point down there, and they were already flooding in, right? So we did videos and covered all of that. Nobody was really concentrating on what we were doing. I'd like to think we were definitely ahead of the game on that. So I talked to a Border Patrol agent about a year ago. He was in uniform at a Starbucks, and I said to him, I go, from what I understand, can I ask you a question? He's like, yeah. I said, from what I understand, President Biden is talking about, when it gets to 4,000 coming across the border, they're going to do a national emergency. And I said, but I think it's more like 12,000 coming across the border, not anywhere close to that low, 4,000. And he
Easily.
laughed. He laughed, right? He laughed at me, and not at me, but he laughed. And I was like, I go, why are you laughing? I said, you probably can't tell me because you're in uniform. He goes, no, you're cool. I can tell you. He goes, 23,000 are coming across the border every day, and they're getting processed. They're not. They were. When I went to McAllen, Texas, I was watching white school buses with tinted windows go. There's called no man's land. So they got a rickety fence wall for Mexico. They had our fence that they stopped and started getting rid of all the steel for pennies on a dollar, ripping off the American taxpayer. They drive the bus through the gate, right? The fencing went about 300 feet this way, went 300 feet that way, and it stopped. There was no fencing, but they had a gate, right? A gate and fence. And they were driving the bus through the gate, right? They could have drove on the dirt if they wanted to. Drove through the gate. They drove around no man's land, picking up all the people that were coming across the border, filling the bus with tinted windows, driving back out to a tent, which was only about half a mile away from the border, processing them in white tents. I've got video on this. Again, McAllen, Texas, um, uh, babies in the Rio Grande Mustang Medic. You'll be able to find all these videos that we shot because they were throwing babies into the Rio Grande to distract the Border Patrol agents. They're drowning babies, basically, throwing them in the water so they can run across the border. They didn't have to do that
What?
eventually. Oh yeah, they sacrificed. There's cartels. The coyotes. The coyotes are the people that walk the groups. So 4 out of 5 women were getting raped every night. They lost 400,000 children. Illegal. 80% of the people coming across the border were foreign nationals. Only 20% were coming from South America. Mexico. 80% foreign nationals. Those are Muslims. If you do the math on 23,000 for every day that Joe Biden was in office, it adds up to over 30 million. So do the math.
That's so
41 million illegal before Joe Biden, when Joe Biden got in. Add 30 million, right? So what do we got mathematically? We got 4, 5, 6, 7, 70 million people. That's 1 out of every 4 people in America are not supposed to be here.
That's,
We have
that's
been
what
invaded.
That's what happens when you have a president that tells everybody surge to the border if you're in need. What do you expect to happen, right?
Orchestrated. Oh, they did it on purpose.
Yeah.
It was all they're not that stupid. They're just evil.
It's like the Democrats have just a surface level knowledge of everything. They don't even know what they're saying.
No, I think they do. I think they do. I think they're that evil.
Well, but I like so like when they say like it's not a crime to be in this country illegally, it depends on the details. It depends on how you come into the country. Because if you overstayed your visa, it's a civil penalty. But if you came in with a whole parade of people, a whole caravan, then you've entered illegal. Then it is a crime. And if you've been
crime much across the border,
right? If you've been deported and come back, then it's a felony. If you've already been deported once and you come back into the country illegally the second time,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a felony. Yep. So these people are committing crimes, but you have to figure out who's who. I mean,
the pushback that ICE is. I've got a friend who was a Secret Service agent. Now he's an ICE agent. He has to be completely hidden because of what's happening to our federal agents trying to protect the American people. They've gone so far. I mean, what does the Democrat Party stand for now? It stands for illegals. It stands for trans guys in girl sports. What else does it stand for? Free everything, socialism. And we now have a political party in the United States of America on our 250th birthday that literally wants us to fail, wants our military to die, so they've got a talking point. I'm sure they were disappointed when that helicopter those 2 pilots didn't die. They wanted that headline. That's how sick they are. I mean, it's a spiritual war. I call it the Great Awakening. It is not just it's not just flesh and blood. It is a
Mm-hmm.
spiritual war against good and
Yeah.
evil. It's
Do,
never been that
do you
clear.
do you remember how you felt and how everybody around you was felt on September 12th, 2001, the day after
Oh,
9/11? You
oh
remember
yeah.
how patriotic everyone? I feel like if that kind of attack happened now, like 15-20% of our country would celebrate.
I know.
Isn't
I
that
agree.
crazy? It's
That is
insane.
crazy. And maybe more. Because the Democrat Party, I hope to God that
Oh.
the media is just playing up the because if you look at the elections, you look at President Trump's endorsements, he's doing very well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they've reached a point where they've lost the independence because they've gone so far left into socialism. And I was trying to remember, I'm like, do you remember that Hitler had a socialist party? It's like, are you guys not understanding? They're
Mm-hmm.
calling us the racist radicals, and they're completely
Right.
just lost it.
Mm-hmm.
Have they not? Right?
No, you're right. We have a question from the chat, if you don't mind. Hi, your mom. That's her name. Did Okay? So ask him to describe his experience when he was patted down in DC in December.
Oh, recently?
Mm-hmm.
You saw that one, huh? Okay, that was kind
Oh,
of funny.
okay.
No, yeah, Thanksgiving. The Thanksgiving just passed. I was visiting my daughter at Fort Detrick, right, while she's in Space Force. And my daughter knows me. She wasn't surprised that this happened to me because this kind of stuff happens to me all the time. Well, I wear a gun belt, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's got a holster for a Glock, and I've got the
Mm.
mag pouch, right? It's all hard plastic stuff. Well, I always wear the belt. I just always do. And I was wearing my black jacket. I've got a jacket. I like tactical stuff. I wear like a police jacket and stuff, and I wear my gun belt. And I left the gun and the mags at home, right, in Arizona. But I kept the belt, and I didn't take off the holster. I left it on my belt, right. So I was walking through. I didn't. I used to
Oh.
by the White House. So I
Oh.
knew. That's. Let me get there. So I'm walking around. And I'm just like, I always talk to the Secret Service, so I'm very comfortable with them, and I got to know all of them because I was all 2000. I got a challenge coin. I'll stay on the subject, but I got a 2021 challenge coin from a Secret Service
Hmm.
agent. It's one of my. I'll show
Nice.
it to you in a second. Let me show it to you real quick, and
Nice.
I'll get back to
Nice.
the story. These are called challenge coins. Can you see them?
Yep. I have a couple from the army.
Oh, cool. So
Uh-huh.
want me to explain, or do you want to explain?
No,
What a
no, go
challenge
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, a challenge coin is Space Force. This is a Secret Service right there. This is my first challenge coin, but I didn't know what they were, and he handed it to me to explain it to me. I'll put that back later. This is really bad. That's San Antonio ice. How cool is that?
That's awesome.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
The Texas baby.
Hell
That's
yeah.
my daughter's Space Force. She gave that to me. Again, the U.S. Space Force. This is from Eli Crane. He's a congressman that gave it to me in Arizona. This is this is actually for. I gave these to. This is a challenge coin that I gave out to people. That's from an American citizen to a veteran. And what I learned.
Nice.
And this is what is this one? I forgot about this one. I can't remember where I got that one from. Oh, this is a veteran's coin, and I told him, I said, I'm not a vet, but he still wanted to give it to me. It was quite an honor. So a challenge coin is you can purchase them on bases. So if you're in the military and you're on a base, you can buy your challenge coins. They only cost about $15. Still, it's a lot of money for one coin. But you can't buy a coin and you can't ask for a coin. It has to be given to you out of honor, out of respect. And the reason it's called a challenge coin is because, let's say I've got 2 challenge coins. I've got them in my pocket. I'm in a bar in DC. And my buddy's got, or somebody I just met's got 1 coin. If he walks up to the bar and lays that coin down, and I've got 2 coins, he's going to buy me the beer. If we've got, I don't know what happens when you tie, but whoever's got the most coins gets to drink the beer. So they're a challenge. How many coins do you have? So that's the challenge coin. So each one of those symbolically,
That's pretty cool. You have some nice ones. I like the ice San Antonio one.
I know, it bad.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, I got that. The Lafayette Park. He walked up to me. He knew what I was doing because I got really popular with the journalism thing. So he knew who I was. He was here. I want to give this to you. I'm like, thank you, man. Yeah. It was cool.
My chat wants to know when your next flag wave is. There's people that live by you that want to go.
I got to get better at it, because what I do is I do it spontaneous. I don't plan a day, but when I get out there, I do a video and say I'm on the bridge sometimes. But I think there's going to be a July 4th. So somebody on chat, I think it's on for Facebook people. It's chat, CG chat, Casa Grande chat, CG chat, and there's someone organizing a flag day that I'm going to kind of do a surprise visit. But I guess it's not really going to be a surprise anymore.
Nice.
Saying in your interview.
I think there's going to be flag waves all across the country on the 4th. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Well, it's wild because I'm the only one just standing on a bridge with an AR in the entire country. Nobody else is doing this. And I just
right.
Nobody else doing this. I mean, I've done it every other day since the election. So I've been doing it for over a year and a half. But I do it because I'm tired of seeing the trans, the Palestinian, the Mexican, all these other flags, all these other countries, and all these other movements. And there's people are like almost cowarding to say I love America. So I'm standing for all the patriots and just saying, it's like, you know what? I'm proud of being an American, and I don't care what you think. And I'm going to stand there and stare you down if you don't want to recognize our flag. If you want to give me the finger, and get out of the country. There's no reason to be in a country that you're going to give the finger to the flag of the country you're in. Get the hell out. You know what I mean?
Did you?
And
did
it's
you
really
see?
fun. It's fun. Oh, good.
Did you see all the Muslims in Dallas in the streets chanting?
In Houston too, my city too. Same thing. Yep.
Not
They
a
were doing
single
that.
American flag.
Yep.
You know, trying to intimidate Basically, I feel like it's trying to intimidate the rest of the country. Like, hey, we're here. We're in your country, and this is what we really stand for.
Without a doubt.
And I don't know how we can allow that. Like, why
we can't.
They're taking over. Like Dearborn, Michigan is fully taken over. You know, like all these cities are getting transformed into Muslim cities. Muslim, like it's scary, and they are having kids and populating way more than we are, which is also very bad, you know.
And they do honor killings. They're okay with killing their children if they're if
they don't go by
a burqa and things.
Yep, exactly. Or if they try to date a white man, or if they, you know, like there was that story of the mom and the dad that attacked their daughter because she wasn't following Islam to their satisfaction or whatever. I don't remember.
And she had her hair out or something. She had makeup on.
In the middle of the street, like he pulled up on her and just was in the middle of the street, like he had a right to, and that is
not
he does
okay.
in his culture. In his culture, he's got a right to. And that's a cultural thing, you know what I mean? When I say I always say culture, and some people are like, "Oh, you shouldn't say that about black people." No, culture is an upbringing. It's the way you think. It's the way you operate. It doesn't matter about the way you look, but in your culture, you know what I mean? Because you got people that are very violent. You know, there's black people that are very violent, giving good black people a bad name because of their doing it. It's like, no, that's a culture. It's not a skin color. You know, I'm always trying to get that clear that it's about their upbringing.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh no, go ahead. I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, they're bringing their culture here. They're not assimilating. We all know this. No. And they're thank God President Trump has shut down the border for the most part. So at least that wall's there. You know what I mean? And ICE is moving. I'm hearing a lot of reports about ICE sweeping in California and everything. You know, from the ground. You know, I'm like, wow, there's stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff we don't know is going on. But think about the budget from the big beautiful bill. The ICE. I believe that ICE is the most funded force in America. I mean,
right now,
yeah. So there's a lot going on. I mean, we saw the headlines in Michigan, all the craziness and all that stuff. But that was all, you know, half those people are, you know, again, they're political operatives, man. You know what I mean? You know, you don't go running into a bunch of ICE agents wearing a gun in your pocket. That's like suicidal. You know what I mean? It's just craziness. You don't try to, you know, jump when federal agents are saying stop. Put it in park. You don't take off in your car.
No, exactly.
You know what I mean? You're gonna get your butt shot.
And then the entire left tries to change the narrative when there's clear and evident video. The federal officer said, "Get out of the fucking car! Stop the fucking car! Get out of the car!" And instead of stopping, she knew there was an agent in front of the car. You see the wheels spin. She hit the gas so hard. You know, like they can't change the narrative on perfectly clear video,
Yeah,
from multiple angles.
yeah. The issue we have is that people are, I call them echo chambers, and the algorithms are grabbing onto interest. And the way I explain, we all know what algorithms are, but the way I kind of show it as an example is, I like yellow cats, right? I'm just doing an example. I don't really love yellow cats, but I love yellow cats. So I search yellow cats. What are yellow cats doing today, right? So the algorithm starts feeding you yellow cat people because they want you to stay online. They don't want you to be like, oh, I had a negative experience, so they want to keep the ads running. So you get a group of
Okay, wait. I'm sorry. My stream's paused. Are we still good? Is everybody still there?
I'm
Ed
there.
Eagle, you look like you're here. Okay. Sorry, everything just went. Go fuck yourself for a second. Sometimes that happens. Welcome to live, guys. We're good now. Please continue. I'm sorry.
Okay. So the yellow cat people build a group of 1,000 people, yellow cats. And then like they'll be going along, hating everything else. We love yellow cats. And then somebody comes into the group and says, I like brown cats. And they're like, what the mob mentality? They attack the brown cat person, get them out. Well, I listen to this. I saw this old white guy, right, sitting in a golf cart in front of a Jiffy Lube. I was riding on my bike, with my flag and my AR. He saw me. I pulled up. He starts going off on President Trump, right? So for some reason, they know I'm a Trump supporter.
Gee, I wonder how they didn't figure that one out.
Totally. You know what I mean? Yeah. One person actually asked me who I supported while I was standing there with an AR. I'm looking at him like, are you kidding? It's like, really? It's like, really? Yeah. And then I tell them, and then they get upset. But this old guy, right? And he starts going off on President Trump for like 5 minutes. He's just saying all these things that were false, right? Because he's getting his information from somewhere. He totally believed in it, but it wasn't real. And my thing, the way I show the love of Christ is that I'm to love everybody, no matter how much they hate me. I'm to show love. That's my job. So I sit there and I listen a lot to stuff that I could easily be triggered by, but I'm like, I'm going to listen. That's what the people need to be listened to. And he went off for 5 minutes and I said, may I retort? That's all I said. May I retort? And he looked like one of those white golfer guys, 80 years old, just a typical old man. And he goes, no. And I go, that's your problem. You cannot receive any information. You can only yell what you know. There's no way I can learn anything from you or you can learn from me if we can't discuss something. Then he says, I don't even know if I should say this online. He goes, I would, should.
That's a good way to do it. Yeah, that's good. That's perfect.
Yeah, he's going to do that, right?
That's perfect.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But I'm like sitting there going, I go, you're saying that about the president of the United States? I mean, those kind of threats, you know what I mean? If I had a video, they would have been visiting, you would hope. Yeah. And he goes, and I've got friends that would help me too. I was like, wow, look at this blind hate. It's a spiritual thing because I expect an 80-year-old to be able to like discuss things. You know what I mean? Not to be that like it's like an 18-year-old the way he's operating. So it goes across the whole, across the whole spectrum. It's just insane.
I think that during the rallies of Trump doing like 200 rallies, they were so patriotic and so filled with American flags that at some point the American flag became a symbol of the right wing. So if you wave the flag, you support Trump and you're a Nazi. We have to figure that shit out.
I think it all started. Do you remember the image? I know everybody does, where he's hugging the American flag. He hugged it.
Oh, I got it. Hold on, I'll pull it up. No, I'll pull it. I got it.
Yeah, President Trump hugging American flag.
I already got it. I'm kidding now.
You gonna put it up?
Yep.
Yeah, I think when that image came out, because of TDS, they hated the flag because he loved it. I'm not joking.
So
that's a theory. I think
you're right.
TDS is a serious disease.
And so far, there seems to be no cure.
No. And now out here where I'm from, they got TDS for real, Tommy derangement syndrome. They tried to kill me this weekend. Did you see that?
That's it.
Oh, that's great.
There's other angles of it too. But when he did that, that's when the hating of the American flag happened. That's how sick they are. What do you mean they tried to kill you? What do you mean?
Oh, I sent you the video. That was him in the blue shirt with the baseball bat.
Let's play the whole video.
All right. Hold on.
So we went to Seattle this weekend, right? Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Well, we went for just Friday, Saturday, but all this shit happened on Saturday. I got pepper sprayed earlier in the day. when we first got there, basically. We were walking around the Seattle Pride, not even really talking to nobody or like trying to argue with anybody or nothing. We were sitting on the corner, and a bunch of these trans Tifa people that had harassed us the day before showed up and got all crazy with us and maced me like with some, bro. I've been maced out here a bunch of times, and I have to say this mace that they sprayed me with on Saturday was way stronger than any of the other stuff I've been sprayed with besides the bear spray.
I was gonna say maybe it was bear spray.
It was it must have been a little can of it. You know, it was like a little can, and it hit me directly in the eyes, and that shit, it was bad for a long time, you know. But then later in the night, we were walking around after that for a long time. I went and changed my clothes and stuff. We were walking around after that for this is what first started right here. Is it?
I can put the
volume
volume
back any further.
Yeah.
Like where it starts, yeah.
No,
No, that's not me.
I was joking.
No, that's a trans freak. That's a trans Tifa. Like
trans
one of the
Tifa?
ones
I've
that
never heard that term before.
Yeah, they're trans Antifas, and he thinks. I think this person is a girl trying to be a boy is what we think it is, right? And this is what testosterone. This is what testosterone does. Turn it up a little bit so you can hear it. This is what testosterone does to women. Bro, I was so close to having to put my hands on this dude, but that's not what I'm there for. You know what I mean?
You just said this dude.
Yeah, it's so confusing,
it's so hard. It's so confusing.
Look, you afraid for the actual crap. I'm here right now. Let's run the fade. Free fade.
So if you want to fight, go ahead, swing it. Go ahead.
This is why I say that the trans community.
I wanted him to hit me so bad.
The trans community has a Muslim problem. They're not going to get along.
Look, the day before, this redheaded one right here was walking around with his boobs out. Like he has hormonally grown boobs and a fat ass gap in his teeth, and he was walking with his breasts out, being crazy.
They got a much higher suicide rate. They really are really unhappy people.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and we're friends with a couple of detransitioners. Oh, they really hate them. Oh, oh my God. Oh.
These people they really don't want me to hit them because they already know that I've knocked out 2 of their homeboys when I first started doing this. Like knocked them out. Like one of them was knocked out for like 6 minutes because he was running at me with bear mace, and I knocked him out. So they really he was trying to get me to react first.
This is him right here in the black shirt. That's
because
Tommy.
They want me to go to jail. That's why I'm like, all right, you want to do mutual combat? Let's go. Swing at me first. I could take a couple hits from that big dude. You know what I mean? Like
video.
Hit me first, and we can do it. But other than that, I'm not there for that. I'm there to just record the Pride event where it's supposed to be kid friendly, but there's people basically naked, dancing and stripping and pulling their butt cheeks apart and doing all kinds.
How is that allowed? I don't understand how that's allowed. Why? How are you have your nutsack out in front of 7-year-olds? What the fuck is this? What is this?
This one was chill. This incident was nothing compared to the one later on. This incident was nothing.
What?
Like we were surrounded by like 300 people at least, like that wanted to really cause us bodily harm.
Let me get to the mace part. Let me see. Here we go. Here it is. Right in.
Boots on the ground, my friend. That's truly boots on the ground.
Yeah. See, look, this is when it got physical. Is when this one came up and started getting crazy and getting in Josh's face, trying to grab his shit. And I seen it, and I was like, hold up, you know? Look, and he's just pointing mace at us already. And I was like, all right, we started backing up. So in my mind, I'm like, all right, we're backing up. So they're not going to spray. But then they did. They sprayed and got me right in the eyes. I couldn't see shit.
Yeah, I was scared for you, man.
I couldn't see shit. So I was like, fuck, we got to get out of here. And I had to grab a hold of Jimmy and like walk with them, you know? It was that like, so that was the first interaction, and we walked straight.
I have another one. Hold on.
And I've been maced a ton of times, but I've never been like, hey, I need to call an ambulance to get this shit out of my eyes. We went to the cops. I was like, call me rescue, bro. I need some saline for my eyes. But then by the time
saline or is it milk? What do you use?
Well, the ambulance and shit, they give you saline, but I should have probably got some milk. But by the time the ambulance and them got there, we have all that kind of shit. Like we have the Sudocon wipes and the spray for your eyes, and we had a few bottles of water. So by the time the fire rescue came, I was like, nah, I don't really need you guys no more. It's already not burning in my eyes no more. So
this is the next clip. That, Tommy, you want to set the bite up?
Yeah. So, this is the bite. This is where, this was right before all the other people showed up, and we were standing there, and I had a shirt on that said "White Straight Republican Male." How else can I offend you? White straight Republican male, and it said, "How else can I offend you today?" And this person didn't like it, right? And the person walking up right now, he like comes up and tries to grab my phone out of my hands. Look, and then my homeboy Jimmy grabs him and was like, "Hey, stop!" And
that's assault.
Like he
that's
was,
assault.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, she starts biting the fuck out of him.
She's biting him.
She bit the fuck out of him.
Let go. Oh my God.
I will, bro. He had every right to just start decking that bitch, bro. And he didn't. He had a lot of restraint.
More than anybody else would have had, I think.
Yeah, because he got bit so bad on his arm. He had to go to the doctor when he got home and get antibiotics.
Broken skin is assault.
Absolutely.
We'll show.
So we went and pressed charges, but they couldn't find her. Yeah, look, it bit him hella good. Nah, she was already gone with her mask, and
it looked worse later on in the evening.
It looks worse now too. You know.
Okay.
But those were the two incidents that happened at like around 2:00. And then the main one,
I'm getting to that.
7 o'clock, and that one was a scary situation. Even the cop. Okay, so we ended up at the end of other end of Cal Anderson Park. You know where Chop was, Chaz, in Seattle. So before all this, we were just walking through that park. There was like 5 or 6 of us. We were walking through the park, and that redheaded trans person and another one that was there for the macing, they seen us in the park and they started following us, and they were like, "Nazis in the park, Nazis in the park, we got Nazis in the park," like starting a fire the whole way across the park. So we keep walking and we get to this, and people slowly start coming and showing up and surrounding us, and then they started throwing eggs and full beer cans and liquid and all kinds of shit at us. And so we walked, there was a cop right behind us, and you could see he was on the radio, like calling for backup, like, hey, you know, but he was just as surrounded and in a fucked up situation as we were until backup came, because there was so many people and they didn't give a fuck that cop was there. Yeah. See, look, turn it up. Chris in the head with the egg. They just smacked Chris right in the head. Bam, right in the head. Egg. They're throwing eggs. They just hit Chris in the head with the egg. He started spraying, and they backed up, you know. But there's one that lives right across the street, right? And he kept running in the house and grabbing more eggs and passing them out to people to throw at us.
Wasn't that the same guy with the bat, right?
Yep, and it's the same dude that came. He went inside and got a baseball bat, put a bandana on his face, got a baseball bat, and this is where this is.
Now this is from the perspective. Yeah, it's from the perspective of the guy getting swung at. So we have two views of it.
This is my camera. This first angle is my camera. So there's so much going on. I wish I would have noticed that he had a bat in his hand long before that second, because I literally had like half a second to jump out of the way. And you heard the bat hit the ground in front of me. Like,
you're not getting arrested?
Oh, he got arrested. Go back and turn the volume up, and you could hear the bat hit the ground.
Yeah, I saw the swing.
Yeah, but he swung it. You hear it go dunk on the ground. Boom. And then he turns it to Shane and swings it at Shane, and he hit Shane's tripod in a little bit of his hand, but he mostly hit Nico in the arm, in her arm and in her hand. And I'm glad that he got Shane's tripod first to slow the momentum, because if it would have fully hit Nico, if it would have missed Shane and hit Nico, it would have broke her arm. It would have broke her arm
All right.
100%.
So the crack of this, that person didn't swing that bat gingerly. They swung to kill. Attempted murder. Maybe hot take, but attempted murder. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the detectives called me yesterday. See how fast he did it?
Yeah.
Here, I'll go back. I'll do it a couple times here.
So that mist that came up when he hit Shane is my homeboy Jimmy pepper spraying the dog shit out of that fool, and that's what was able to make him slow down enough to get caught. Because that cop, he instantly went after him. Like the cop seen it happen, and he instantly got on the radio and started going after him. Kind of left us alone right there for a second, but then we look over and there's like 40 cops running across the park. Like it.
I can show that, Paul, and I can show that part.
They came in super hot.
I thought, Antifa is designated a terrorist. What is it called? A domestic
terrorist. Yeah.
Why are they not getting arrested?
This dude, we're all pressing full charges. Me,
that's it.
Are pressing full charges. I said I'm willing to drive back up to Seattle to go to court and everything. I'm pressing full charges. Like I sent in like 7 videos, all the different angles, all the up close screenshots of him throwing eggs. He's still in jail. The detective called me yesterday and said, yes, he's still in jail, and I don't think he's going to get out anytime soon. So
is it a felony? Did they charge him with a felony?
It's absolutely a felony.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was thinking, hey, you never know with those cops, man. I don't know.
It might go up. He might get more charges because it was like premeditated. He went into his apartment, put a mask on, got a baseball bat, and came out there and tried to be slick and was waiting for us to not be looking, and then attacked. Like that, if that bat would have hit me in the head, it could have really fucked.
No, it would have killed you. It would have killed you.
It would have killed me or put me in the hospital for a long time.
You'd be yeah.
Good.
I got cat-like reflexes though. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Reflexes. I just can't imagine that kind of hate being directed at a person just for a belief system.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I had America First hat on and a flag shirt.
We've gotten into a society that cannot. The amount of hate to kill Charlie Kirk because he's talking about his opinion. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like when Charlie was shot, I was watching the live stream when it happened, and I was like, we all knew right away when he got hit. You just knew he was gone. You knew he was gone. And I was like, wow, you know what? I am risking my life standing on this bridge because a lot of people really hate me, and I just don't care. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I feel like, I just know that I'm doing God's will, and I'm going to trust him.
Yeah.
That's the way I operate. I mean, you know what I mean? Because
how
I'm not
I look
doing
at
it for the money.
Yeah.
Tommy.
How I look at it is they're trying everything in their power to get me to stop doing what I'm doing. They doxed my house. They destroyed 2 of my cars. We just had to move, spend a ton of money to move, which we wanted to move anyways, but they've thrown shit in my bedroom windows. They destroyed one of my really good friends' cars. They've targeted us to the max.
Yeah, this is the Portland ice.
They literally say that they want me gone. They want me dead because they're trying to scare me away, which is doing the opposite for me. They're trying to scare me away, but it's just making me want to do what I do even more. Every time you guys attack me, every time they attack me, every time they come to my house, every time they dox me, it's like, okay, well, I'm doing something right, so I'm going to dig in and do it even more. I'm going to find better ways to do what I'm doing, and that's what I've been doing since October. Since October of last year, I've just been learning what works and what doesn't, learning what's good and what's bad, learning how to control my emotions, dealing with these people. Like I've learned and grown so much since we started that these people can't trigger me no more. They can't. That's not going to happen. I'm not going back to jail over these idiots.
Yeah, they're slaves to their emotions. They're complete
They just fly into their emotions. They can't control it, and they don't care about not being able to control it.
So this is the Portland ice facility. This is what they've done to it. Just wanted to show you. I want to show you the picture with 100 dildos laying all over the ground. That's not a joke.
Yeah, no, I've heard about that. I've heard about. Actually, I think I've seen video. But yeah, Portland's like every day is a protest. I've talked to people that live in Portland, and they said there's a protest every night.
Yeah.
A violent protest every night.
Did you see what happened the first time I went to ICE?
No.
How it started? Can you find that video of the first dude from the front? Front of ICE?
Okay.
What started it all?
I will look at that as while you tell him about this while I look for it.
Okay, so that's the second car of ours that they destroyed. Like, I got into it and somebody attacked me on ICE and I went to jail and they destroyed my first car. This car is the replacement for that car. And I came out to walk my dog in the morning, and this was like 2.5, 3 blocks away from my house. And this is what I came out to. They put spray foam in all the tires, popped all the crevices, popped all the tires. Yeah, and then they came back a couple nights later and broke the window and tried to steal the battery out of the car. Yeah,
They get something jammed in your tailpipe.
Yeah, spray foam, like that expanding spray foam. They sprayed it way down inside of it.
Wow.
Like that's what they did to my homeboy or my homegirl Nico's car.
I didn't know they could spell.
Yeah, they did that. They broke her window. They poured human shit all inside of the car. They sprayed bear mace all inside the car. It was dripping from the headrests.
It's so radicalized out there, man. It's just so radical.
I found out that Seattle is way worse, bro. Seattle is off the hook compared to Portland right now.
That's
worse than Portland?
That's shit.
Yeah, it's way worse than Portland. Seattle's way worse than Portland. At least the trans Tifa part is. I haven't really ran into like a lot of black bloc besides the couple that maced us, but like it was a lot of trans Tifa. Like crazy. We do risk our lives every day going out. Like we absolutely do. Because
so what is your drive? What is your drive to have that experience every time? Because it sounds similar, right?
So mine is like Charlie Kirk, them killing Charlie Kirk. Just I want something better for my kids in the future. I want something for my grandkids eventually to have something nice, you know, like right now in the direction this country's going in right now is not good. And we're not going to have the American dream much longer. You know, if simple Americans, if basic Americans, like the normal Americans don't stand up and start fighting for their country, fighting for what they believe in, then we're going to lose it, you know? And that I don't know. There's a lot that goes with it. You know, them coming to my house and threatening my wife and my dog and shit. That's a big reason, like why I'm not going to stop, because they're not going to intimidate me. You know, this was the second night I was ever at ICE. And before all this happened, this dude in the red hoodie or in the black hoodie with the red was following me around for like 20 minutes in my face. He broke my my gimbal, smacked it and broke it, you know, and I gave him every opportunity well before this to leave me the fuck alone. But then he started putting his hands on me.
Your mom, it's a blank screen. Sorry, go ahead.
Let me interject, okay? I've got a gimbal that I haven't used for 4 years that I bought when I was in DC. I'll send it to you. Send me your address. Text it to me.
I can't use gimbals dealing with these people. I have an all metal tripod that is like it's like a mace basically. It's an all metal tripod and it locks my phone into it. So yeah, I can't use that because
Are you in the white?
Yeah.
He's wearing a Charlie Kirk shirt right after Charlie Kirk got.
There's so much more video.
I know, but I can't.
Again. Let me get swinging in.
Right,
there's so much more.
I know.
Oh, dude, that was you.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Let me
You
get
were
the
a
other
street
view of
fighter,
it.
man.
Hold on, I gotta get the other view. Wait, just give me a second.
That was quite a smack, man. He didn't know
Yeah,
what was going on after that first hit.
I was just sick of him putting his hands on me.
Yeah, we all have different roles because that's not me.
It's
You
yeah,
know, I'm not picking on you about it. I'm just saying all of us, it's kind of like witnessing for Christ. It's like there's people screaming in the streets, you're going to hell. There's other people who are super nice, and there's other people. We all, fingers and toes. We're all different the way we handle things. But that was a pretty good smack, man. That was a nice smack.
yeah, and
How much do you
you
weigh?
and I could have jumped on top of him and kept hitting him, but he was
Yeah,
out of it. He was
yeah.
dazed, like he
The
couldn't
first
get
hit, he
up.
was dazed.
Yeah, but then he got up and he started coming at me again, like walking towards me, like trying to get in my face. And that's when Ice came out and they was like, hey, come here, and they snatched him up and he just fell. When they grabbed him, he fell. And I went up, I was like, I know I got to come with you guys, bro. I was like, I'll come with you guys. I'm not here to cause you guys issues. I'm here to support you guys. And I just put my hands behind my back. They didn't even handcuff me or nothing. They just walked me. And when they got behind the fence, the ICE agent, he was like, bro, we saw the whole thing. You're perfectly fine. We just had to separate it and do a report, and they took us inside and they were hella cool, bro. They let me sit down in the chair and they were like, you just got to empty your pockets and we're going to go in and we're going to separate you guys for a little bit and then we're going to let you out the front doors. And that's exactly what they did, and they were like, before they let me out, they were like, hey, did you fight growing up or I said, no, I just grew up in a really rough neighborhood and I know how to defend myself. And they were like, yeah, we saw that. You can definitely defend yourself. It was great, bro.
Is this another angle of the same punch?
Portland
Yeah,
Andy
I thought
had
it
a
was
way better angle, bro.
Portland Andy has one. All right, hold
He
on.
did, but I don't know if it's still on YouTube.
Yeah, it's
or
hard to
not.
find. There's so many different iterations of it. Let me see. Let me take this off so I can look through it. Oh, just give me a second.
There's a good ass angle where you can see the dude's glasses go. They busted off his face and went flying.
Did you get slow mo of it?
Oh yeah, there's tons of videos. There's tons
It's always
of
good in
videos.
slow mo. No, I haven't gotten. Fortunately, I haven't gotten.
The best.
Yeah, fortunately, I haven't gotten any physical altercations. I mean, I did have one Antifa guy in front of the DC. He was a little kid, must have been. He was a really light guy, and he came up and tried to elbow me. I just shoved him away, and he kind of like ran away. It was nothing really any big deal. I carried mace and a taser with me because that's legal in DC if you got mace on your belt and a taser. But it was funny because there was a Jewish memorial, and it was not a protest, but it was a gathering by the Capitol. And I was walking around with my cowboy hat on, right? And I had a backpack. I had the pins from World War II, where you've got the propeller and the wings, right? And the Capitol Police were coming up to me and asking me what that means, and I'm like, it's from World War II. I think they thought it was like German or something. Like it's from World War II. And they said, "Can you put your hands up?" And I'm like, "Okay, what's going on?" I did it, right? I'm like, "What's going on?" Like we have to take that out of your pocket, off your belt. So I kept my hands up. They took it, and they confiscated it, right? So I was like, I thought it was legal. A taser. I was like, not here. So I went to my friend who's the ICE agent, the uniformed ICE agent in by the White House, and I told him the story. And only because he knows me, he believed me, because he goes, "They're not allowed to do that." And I was like, "I know." So he talked to his sergeant. His sergeant questioned whether I was telling the truth or not, and they confirmed it that they just chose to take it, and they didn't have any right to do it. I wasn't going to pursue it. You know what I mean? It was like a $20 taser, but it was weird. It was a weird situation.
Yeah.
I think it was because they were worried about the fact that they were Jewish people. You know what I mean? And I'm wearing a cowboy hat. That's what I think they were doing. Plus,
Doesn't
in
bother
DC
us. I'm Jewish. Doesn't bother us.
Yeah, in DC, I wore a cowboy hat so much I got sick of people asking me from Texas, so I wore a kilt.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, you get all. I was wearing a kilt through almost all of 21 in a cowboy hat. It was so comfortable, man. It was natural.
Oh, this is the better view. This is the better view. Go back, turn it up, because
Well, there's music. It's only music.
Okay.
So I don't want to play the music.
See, he kept kicking me. He kept coming at me and kicking me.
It's
Watch.
unbelievable.
I kept swinging and missing. So this next one, I was like, all right, if I miss again, I'm gonna come back with a back fist. And I did. Watch. There was one I missed. I came back with a back. He was like, "Oh, that was a good one." He was like, "Oh, I got." And then I put my phone away, and I was like, "Okay, I'm done."
Oh, dude,
Once
you're nailing them, man. How much do you weigh?
Like 260.
Yeah, you got to get the power behind the punch with that kind of weight.
Yeah,
I'm 235.
Everybody was like, once Tommy put his phone away, it was a wrap for that fool.
You look like you're enjoying yourself.
Left hand the whole time. Bro, I tried everything in my power not to have to fight that dude. I even was on the other side of the blue line where you're not supposed to be on federal property out there protesting. And I was all the way on the other side of the blue line up against the wood of the building at one point, and he still kept coming at me. You know, so I tried to de-escalate and not fight with them for a long time before I actually engaged. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I did, like, everybody was like, "You should have just fucked that fool up when he was on the ground." I said, "Bro, he was already out of it. Couldn't even sit upright. I'm not gonna keep counting on somebody that's already knocked down." You know what I mean?
You're enjoying the adrenaline, though. You got to admit it, right?
I don't get any opposition. I don't get any opposition when.
Of course,
not
and
Antifa.
Like, "Oh, we should have done this. You should have done that afterwards."
But
Yeah.
I'm playing it safe. If I'm gonna get more people and then kind of like make my way into town because Houston's a big place. We don't really have a lot of Antifa though, Tommy.
I don't think you're gonna have pushback at a flag wave in Texas, in Houston, Texas. I think you're gonna get more support than
And I got
anything.
every kind of person cheering me. I had Mexicans on their lawn equipment truck cheering me, Tommy. Like the landscaping guys were like, "Yeah, America." I'm like, all right, yeah. So we can go.
Yeah. Legal immigrants are one of the main ones that'll be like, "Yeah, America, we love America." You know, it's always the legal immigrants.
I'm the rookie in the IRL stuff. I've only done it once. These guys are professionals, so I'm leaning on them to like tell me what I'm doing wrong and right and what I should be doing, and I
Just
should
keep the flag off the ground.
Yeah. No problem.
Yeah, that's all you gotta do.
No
That's
problem.
simple.
No problem.
Yeah, it's that
See,
simple.
you wouldn't be able to, like, out here in Portland, they burn the American flag pretty much every night at ICE.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I can pull that up.
Pull it up.
It's hard to deal with sometimes, you know. The sorter save was savage. Yeah, so the next time that I got into it at ICE was like a week later, and Nick Sorter and Cam Higby and all these people were out there covering the ICE facility, and we were trying to walk on a public sidewalk that they had taken over, that Antifa had taken over, and had tents and all kinds of shit, and wouldn't let anybody that didn't agree with them walk on the sidewalk. So we decided to walk on the sidewalk, and he got attacked and grabbed, like bear hugged, and they were trying to pull him into the tent, you know. So me and Chad Canton and a couple other people were able to get him out of the tent, push him away from all the people. And I turned around to make sure nobody was following us. And there was this dude with big old fucking saggy earlobes that I had been dealing with for like the last week, saying that he was going to unalive me, Charlie Kirk me, you know, all this bullshit. He was running straight at me with the can of bear mace in his hand. And it was like a tense moment. There was just an attack and you don't know what to expect. So when he got in within reach of me, I just hit him, you know, and it knocked him out for like 6 solid minutes, bro.
And there's Nick being arrested.
Yeah.
That's how he's on the news.
That was the best thing for him. That helped him out so much. Got to see President Trump in the White House. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That was a
I
great
mean, these
opportunity
leftist cities are just ignorant, bro. They're just they're like their own walking fucking billboard for MAGA, basically. Like I don't know, it's crazy.
Yeah, well, they're in their echo chamber. They don't know any better. They don't know anything really. Unfortunately, they're radicalized. Plus, they're funded. A lot of them, you know, you saw that with the rocks being put on skids and stuff like that. They've got the NGOs are, you know, the NGOs brought all the illegals up on different points. Even Asians. I mean, how many military Asian people do we have in Texas? Right? Isn't there an area in Texas that's basically owned by China near the border?
I think so.
They have a lot of land and stuff.
I heard they've actually got like 50,000 in an area that's isolated. That's I don't have any proof of it. I didn't go look at it, but I've heard reports about that by a number of sources.
So
but that's not getting a lot of coverage. So
what do
it's
you
being
think
left
our
alone.
answer is here? Because we can't have a civil war, we can't have a national divorce and divide into two countries, and we're never going to get those people to not think that we're all not Nazis. So like, what's the answer? What do we do?
Well, I've got an answer on how Arizona can be protected from California. Build the wall, baby. Just put a wall between California and Mexico. We'll just wall them off. We'll just get Portland. We'll wall it off, right? And we'll just get cameras. We'll do a show and just have them attack each other. Eventually, they will. They got to attack something.
I'm a huge fan
I'm
of that
joking.
idea. No,
Now,
I'm a huge fan of that idea, actually.
on a serious note, I think on a serious note, we might have lost a couple generations. You know what I mean? They might not ever come back, and they're probably going to teach their kids what they think. So I think it's gonna take a good 50 years of time and struggle for them to finally taper down, because you really can't contain them, because they can are online and doing all this stuff, and they're not receiving any information. So my answer, and it's going to sound a little corny, but we have to love them where they are and try to sneak up on them with a little bit of truth and sprinkle it in relationships, and then they'll eventually turn. You can't confront them. You can't. I mean, you can punch them and stuff like that, but they're just going to be more radicalized.
That doesn't do anything, though.
Well, I know, but it's like I don't have any other. I don't. I guess I don't have an answer either.
Well, no, we
other
want to
than-
punch them, but it doesn't do anything.
Right.
It makes you feel better. It makes you feel just a little bit better for like a few minutes.
Okay.
You know?
He loves this.
Fair
Especially
enough.
if they attack us first. Like we don't see, that's the thing. We don't go out to these things to try to instigate violence. Just our presence should never instigate violence.
But it's
just
going
us
to.
being there. But
it's
but
going
it does. But it does. And that's what we're showing to America is people that show up to these kind of events with opinions that differ from the rest of the people there. It will, no matter if you're wearing Trump gear or not, if you're there and you have a different opinion, they're going to come after you. And that's what we're showing to the world. And I show it every day. More and more, some days are more extreme than others, but it happens every day. What is she What is she doing?
That's not the first time that's happened during our show, by the way. Just let you know.
You better check to see if somebody's outside the window or something.
Well, my wife would come in here real quick if there was. And I would have to mute the screen. Share this screen with them. This is the second one. This is the one that I went to jail for and had
Wait,
to
did you
fight.
send me something?
And yeah, I'm screen sharing. I went to jail over this. I went to jail over this and had to pay over $6,000 for a lawyer, and ended up having to plea out for disorderly conduct or some shit like that. I didn't get charged for the actual assault, but look, they're attacking Nick in there right now. You see me right there in the white. There's Jonathan Cho. Look, see, we got Nick out, and I turn around, and this dude comes running up. Oh, he's already down. Damn, you can't even see it. He's already, bro, he was done, bro. He was done, bro. And I'm not even going to lie. I was in the back of the cop car, and the cops at first, they were talking about just charging me for disorderly conduct. But the sergeant came up and was like, no, we have to charge him with something else because the dude's still over there knocked out waiting for the ambulance. And it was like 6 minutes later. I ain't going to lie. I was a little bit scared.
Right. Yeah, that could be a problem.
Like, I didn't even hit him as hard as I could, but I think him hitting the ground fucked him up even more too. Like, because he went from walking at me hella fast to like walking at the ground with his head. You know, it was crazy. And they all swarmed me like instantly.
I know. I just realized, and I never finished my story about why I was getting patted down at the White House. let me finish this real quick.
Go ahead.
If the viewer's still there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I walked through the Lafayette Park with my jacket, my gun belt, my cowboy hat. I always wear a cowboy hat. And they pulled up and started talking to me. And they're like, "What's up? Why are you wearing the belt?" Right? And I looked at them because they can't tell me not to wear a belt. So I looked at them, and I had my phone, and I slid it into my pouch that's connected to my belt, and just looked at him. Right? He looked at me like I was like basically saying I hold my phone in the belt too. And he goes, "Well, can we see some ID?" I'm like, "Sure." Give my Arizona license. Told him what my gun was back there and stuff. And I mentioned that I have an FBI file, right? Because those two FBI agents that created a file on me, right? And he's like, he heard it, he checked it out, he gave me my license back, said it's okay. I walked another 20 or 30 feet, and the two of them came back up to me and said, "Do you mind if we get your social security number since you mentioned you had an FBI file?" And I was like, "Sure." Told my social security number. I had to wait again for like 10 minutes. And they said, "Okay." He checked out. I said, "Okay." And then I left, and I was walking around DC, and I was shocked. DC is like every fourth person is trans or gay. I mean, it's full in DC of a lot of trans people and gay people. I got no problem with gay people. I just don't want a problem. I got a problem with them doing it in front of the kids, like we were talking about. You can be gay. You know, it's
Normal
cool.
gays is fine. You
We
can
all
just
agree.
walk,
We all
you know,
agree. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
you
I
can
have,
be
I
trans,
have
you can be
gay
gay, but
friends.
you don't need to, right?
Yeah,
Kids.
the trans ideology is what's the problem.
Yeah,
It's not
it's a
the gay.
grooming
It's
thing.
the LGB is fine as long
Yep.
as you're not pushing your sexuality on everybody
Or
else
oh, let me fix the thing.
and making it all about your entire
Mhm.
personality. I don't care what you do behind closed doors. It's the trans ideology that's
Mhm.
being pushed in our schools, in our government,
Yep.
in our churches. It shouldn't be in any of those institutions. You know.
Yeah.
Our friends in the past videos that was hit by the eggs, they're a conservative gays, and oh my god, they are hated.
Yeah,
They do not like them. Oh my god.
Yeah, I lived in Palm Springs. Palm Springs is 90% gay. I lived there for 4 years. My wife was a Zumba instructor. I had so many friends that were gay, and I was like the forbidden fruits. I was the only straight guy at the parties and stuff.
Mm.
And
That's
they're all
crazy.
cool as long as they're we don't just they got us. We don't run around saying we're heterosexual. We're gonna have heterosexual pride
Yeah.
parade. You know what I mean? We're not like we're heterosexuals. Ah! It's the shoving it into our faces.
I
That
I
we all know.
I have a 12-year-old daughter, and I'm a single parent, and I have to protect my daughter from trans and Sharia law.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna.
And the boys.
I'm
When she starts dating, when she's 17, and the boys.
well, yeah.
Because I'm
Right
telling
now,
you,
that's not a problem. Thank
I
God.
know, but get
She's
ready.
interested in other things, but yeah,
Yeah, good.
no. She's like
12.
school and friends, and
I know.
you
I'm
know,
I'm just projecting out to
yeah.
17 because
No,
I've just experienced it.
I'm not looking forward to it, but I
Yeah.
have to protect her from this trans
Yep.
bullshit, and I also
Yeah.
have to protect her from a burqa.
Burka.
Yeah, I'm not interested in that. So we usually go about 2 hours. I don't know how much time you have.
Yeah.
We just hit
You
2
got
hours.
anything that you haven't said that you want to get out?
I guess I should. Have we gone 2 hours?
Yep.
Wow, man! I'm telling you,
Time flies, man.
It's dinner time, baby.
Thank you,
Dinner
thank
time.
you so much for giving us so much of your time. I know you're busy
I'm
doing all
totally
kinds of
enjoying it.
stuff.
We obviously all have the gift of gab. You know what I mean? We're all enjoying
Yeah.
it. Not,
Yeah,
I didn't
Phil-
spend those 2 hours.
Feel free
But
to clip
I
all
guess,
this out and make videos out of it yourself and do whatever you want with the video. I'll send you a link and everything.
Okay. Yeah. I guess I should say my domains and stuff. So, under construction is Wieting for AZ, and a forwarding website, which is much easier to remember, is voteforwilliam.com. That's going to forward there. Under construction, not built up yet. I just literally 8 weeks ago started this, so it's it's grassroots. My account names for my Senate throughout, they're all new. Is Wieting, WIETING for AZ. So FORAZ. So waitingforaz.com. That will have all the links eventually on it. The TikTok's got one. I got one there. X, Facebook, Instagram. I'm on 13 different platforms. So every time I do a video report, because I do breaking news every morning, X is my primary account, which is what I put it on. Then I take the same post and put it on 13 platforms every time I do a post.
Oh
So
God.
I got everything covered.
Nice.
I got,
That's a lot.
yeah, I got Rumble, and I mean they're small. The Rumble's got like 5,000 or something, and then locals and TikTok. I even post on Blue Sky. I've got. You want to laugh? You want to laugh? I got on Blue Sky, right? I've got 1,000 videos posted. Guess how many followers I have on Blue Sky?
5.
49. I do it for 49. I do it for
Blue
49
Sky
That's
people.
funny.
is not where
Like
it's
I said
at.
to you, if you reach
Hey,
one
Danny Rebel, what's
person,
up?
you're doing something, huh?
Yeah.
No, our friends. So we have a lot of people in our community. We run a Thursday podcast. There's just 8 people on the screen. It's a
Yeah,
madhouse.
it's a
So
lot of it's
it's
a lot, but it's
chaotic.
fun, you know.
So we do this a lot. We do every Tuesday. We do a town hall. Every Thursday, we do a podcast. We try to keep everybody informed, and we're constantly making videos and posting stuff. We're just like we're
I'll hop in
basically
with
a
you guys
news.
whenever you want me.
Cool,
Yeah,
cool, cool. Yeah.
I'll hop in
Well,
whenever you want me.
you have the link now, and it's the same link for our Thursday show. If you see us live, even if you just want to pop in for 5 minutes, you're more than welcome anytime. You don't even have to tell us.
Yeah.
Just click the link, and it'll populate into here.
All right.
So
And I wanted to say the domain name that has all of my journalism sites on it, I believe it's completely updated, is mustangmedicmedia.com. Mustangmedicmedia.com. That will lead you to everything that I'm doing over there. My Senate run is just so fresh that I'm building the platforms now. So they're, very sparse at this moment. But what I'm doing is I'm setting up a platform to fix the issues that are in Arizona. Then I'll start doing Mark Kelly. But I don't want to be the politician. He's like TDS. He's horrible. Vote for me. What are you going to do? You know what I mean? It's like, okay, that
Yeah.
person's horrible. I get that, but what are you going to do? So I'm talking to a lot of people on the ground. I'm finding out issues from people that have a lot of money to the homeless. I've got a program that I want to set up where homeless communities will build their own homes, small little cottages out in the desert with a, of course, I'm going to put a church on it. That's
right. Well,
Yeah.
when are the primaries? When does all this start for you? That's what we also want to know.
Yeah, my run officially starts after the midterms. I'm early.
Okay.
It's because I want to have, but when I go for those 7,500 votes, I want to be like, boom, good, vote for William. You'll see what I'm about, and you can choose whatever platform you want to follow me on. I'm gonna have content on all of them. Some of it's gonna be different. A lot of it's gonna be the same because I post on all the different platforms, and I'm going to be a problem solver, and I'm going to continue to expose the Democrat Party, which is not hard to do because they're just so
It's
darn
very
crazy.
easy to do.
It's just it's very easy. There's the common sense.
They expose themselves. Just let them talk.
Exactly, and they literally expose themselves too.
Yep.
No, the best way that you guys like the people who go out there for IRL stuff and they go counter protest, they like yell at them and scream at them. I'm like, no. Let them talk, because after their prepared sentences that they learned from ChatGPT, they have nothing. They can't sit here for 45 minutes and have a conversation with you. No. That's why they turn to violence, because that's what all they have left.
They had a sign out in front of the White House of a guy that's like Trump's a dictator, right? And they were talking about something, and I
That's
walked
so
up
stupid.
and I was videoing the guy, right? And I'm talking to him, and he's telling me all this stuff and da 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 da. And you get your news from Fox News, da 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 da. He's saying all this stuff, and I said, again, I was like trying to talk to him, but I said, "Can I say something?" And he just kept talking. And one of his friends said, "That's not a good look, man." You know what I mean? Basically, tell him you should listen to this guy, at least have a conversation with him, because that's all they do. Is they tell us everything they think they know, and they don't have what in the Bible. It's let those who have ears hear and eyes see. And so people, which is, there's always hope. But like you said, how do we fix this problem? The way I think we need to fix it, and it's so simple, it sounds cliche, is we just have to keep speaking the truth without fear. And we've got to stand up with all, not let this race, I'm not going to go over reverse racism, it's black on white racism, the BLM effect, I call it. We got to call this stuff out. We don't need to do videos. We need to jump in and help out the victims of what's going on with this. So we got to get active. We've got to get into small groups. We got to get people to understand how important the midterms are. My whole focus, I'm building a platform running Senate, but we have to get the midterms because it's going to be nothing but impeachments for 2 years. Imagine Hakeem Jeffries as Speaker of the House. Is that not a nightmare?
Yeah.
Is that not a nightmare?
He's a joke.
It could happen. It could happen.
His guy's a when he's filibustered for like 47 hours or whatever the fuck it was.
And his pregnant pauses, right? His pregnant well, there's a problem. And I can't even do his voice. He does these pregnant pauses because I think he's so stupid. He's trying to gather his thoughts between sentences. Now that I've said it, you'll always notice it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? What's just saying? Like, oh yeah. But yeah, I have to watch him sometimes. But he never gives me any new content because he says the same thing all the time. And the Democrats are always like, "It's a catastrophe. He's, all these things." They accentuate so much that you think, what kind of audience is believing this? And I'll close on this. The Save America Act is an 80-20 issue. 80% of the American population, American citizens population, wants to have voter ID. So how does the Democrats? I can't figure it out because I really don't think they're stupid. I mean, maybe AOC and Camilla are stupid, but they're not. They're not stupid.
Don't forget Jasmine Crockett. She real dumb.
She's gone though, right? She lost.
Oh no, that's true. She got she got districted out. See,
and that other guy with the cane.
I live in his district, Al Green.
Al Green.
I live in his district. I was actually thinking, honestly, for like a hot minute about running against him, and then he lost his seat. I was like, oh well, God did it for me. Okay, cool.
He was such a performance. It was such a performance.
Yeah,
and I can keep going and going and going.
Yeah,
We'll talk forever, but we'll have to do this again. But I enjoyed talking to you guys, man.
No, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for your time. And I'll send you a link, maybe in the morning once the video is processed, and you click the link and you accept the collaboration, and it'll say our names and your account too on YouTube.
All right, man.
So we can connect that way.
In the last year of the Boomers, you might have to explain it to me later.
Sure, you just click a link.
It's super easy.
It's
super easy.
If Tommy can figure it out, you have no problem.
Shut the hell up, bro.
That was nice. That was a nice poke. That was good.
Yeah, we did.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. Hey, guys. Thank you so much for joining us for Town Hall Tuesday. Hey, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. God bless America. Peace.
God bless you guys. Peace.